Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all you fine folks over there and around the world. What is going on? I see all the usual suspects are in there. Oh, yeah. Let's see what we got here. Let's bring this up a hair bit. And we'll open this up a hair bit. What's happening? All right, here we go. Audio is on. We are live. What is going on this evening, at least in my neck of the woods? Might be morning for some of you folks, so hope everybody's doing well. Let's put this over here. We are good. All right. Oop, just move this. Hate it when that happens. There's a bunch of everybody jumped in there. I can see all, like I said, the usual suspects. Daniel Lee's in there. Full Circle says hi. John Shop says, me first. Great for all. Hello, everyone. Pete's Vlogs. Yo, what's going on? Derek Balno says, hey, guys. What's going on, Derek? Mimi Reacts is in there. What's going on, Mimi? Limey Watcher. Hey, what's going on, Limey? Good to see you in there. Daniel Lee says, hi, good evening. All hope everyone is okay. Hi, Chris. Hope you are okay. Danny from Liverpool, UK. I'm doing good, Danny. Hope you're doing good as well. Oh, yeah. Derek, you asked, how about the China Rover mystery house? Yeah, I just done that. It's like a video or two ago. Check it out. It's no block or mystery hut or whatever the heck they call it. It's much bigger than that. Really crazy. Mimi, you said, Chris, your helicopter view was very intriguing. Yeah, I'd try to look at it from all ends, right, and see what I thought was going on with that photo. And I was on... I don't remember if it was on Twitter or if it was on Facebook. It was on one of those. And I was reading some of the comments. I'm like, probably anybody can be. One says it was dust on the lens. How is it dust on the lens when it's moving? It simply doesn't make sense. And like I just explained in the video, I think there's something swarming that thing. I don't think it's dust or anything kind of crap like they claim it is. Now, could I be wrong? Sure. I mean, but the way it looks in that video and those different... I shouldn't say, but it's a bunch of stills, right? The way it looks in those, nah. Those to me, it looks like something's flying around. Of course, they're going to try to discourage that, right? They don't want you to, yeah. Like I said in the video, I can actually say it's, they'll probably say it's swamp gas or some goofy stuff like that, right? Lusta, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Good night from Spain. What's going on? Josh D's in the house. What's going on? I just watched the latest video on time. Yeah, I know. I just got this thing out, man. It was crazy. I said, just get the thing out. It's already on deck. It's just about done. Just get it done, right? He said, early, I just watched the latest vid on time. Yeah, you can squeeze it. It's only like 10 minutes, right? It's a little over 10 minutes. Planetary Protector says, greetings, humans. What's going on? Planetary Protector. Mars the Second Genesis, what's happening? He said, hi, Chris. I hope you're doing well. Did you get a chance to look at the enhanced panoramas? No, I sure haven't. I'll be honest with you. I haven't even been on my email at all. I've been busy and just doing a lot of stuff here, man. I will check into it. I get the weekend. That's the best time I get to check these things out, so I'll do that. He said, I will have more links for you soon. The problem with it is I think the links, I was having issues. Remember I told you last week I was having issues. I try to open it. It's like the computer itself won't open. It wanted me to have some kind of weird app or something to open them up. So I don't know if there's another way you can do that unless you have already done that. And I haven't checked it, and this is the reason why I haven't seen it. But last time I checked and tried to go on there and say, if you want to open it with something else, I'm like, what is going on here? So yeah, I couldn't open them then. I don't know if you resent them or you sent them in a different format or a different link or whatever. Let me know. What's going on, Adam? He said, good morning. All happy Saturday. Great Moon Vids, Chris. I appreciate that, Adam. Hope you're having a good Saturday morning. I can't wait for that. Just be able to relax a little bit anyway, right? Pete's Vlogs, what's happening? It's good to see you in there. Let me see. Like I said, Josh D's in there. Templar Royston of Vassy, what's happening? Hello, hello, fellow truth seekers. What's going on? Good to see you in there. cord's on my way here. Let me move that. What's going on, Corey? Good to see you there. It says Chris is in the house. Custom Tailored One's in there. What's going on, Custom Tailored One? Good to see you in there. John McDonald, what's happening? New Zealand says, well, he's from New Zealand, says, hi to all. Chris, your video about the Chinese photo this week was very interesting. Yeah, I mean, the funny thing about it, it's almost like they want you to pull these photos apart to see what's really there. It's like they don't want to come out and say it themselves. They're just like, well, let's just see if these people will, you know, of course people make up weird and wild things about these photos, but let's just see who can get closest to it and pull it out. And if they really want to know what's there, they'll figure it out. They're not going to come out and say it themselves because they're going to basically out themselves, right, that they're lying. They don't want to do that. At least that's the way I think of it, you know. Derek, you said, Chris, you continuously provide us with light in such a dark place. Your videos and commentary continue to improve, providing us with tools and evidence showing we are not crazy. Hope is alive and well. Well, I appreciate that, Derek. You know, here's the thing. It's not just, you know, when I started doing this, I was like, it's cool to be able to do this. So I don't know if I can ever work for NASA, and I'll explain. Because it's like, you see this stuff, you want to be able to share it with other people. You could share it with your family and your friends, but you actually have only so many of those. And of course, some of them are going, I don't know what you're talking about. You know what I mean? They just don't have a clue. They're not doing any kind of research. They really don't care. Like I said, I've said this many times, we can ask your family and friends, what do you think about the latest, you know, Rover pictures, or, excuse me, the Ingenuity photos ago. What's that? So, and I think that's what the space agencies are hoping for, is that very few people really pull these things apart. And I've had many people ask me, not like 100 people, but I mean a few here and there, depending on the videos. They'll say, well, why is it they allow people to even see these? Why don't they just make them full CGI? Well, the problem with it is that there's got to be information in that photo. So if you go to photo forensics online, okay, and you take a picture of your own, let's say with your own Canon camera or whatever it may be, go onto the site, you're going to look at all of the beta information, and you're going to see everything there is to see about that camera. What model it is, what name it is, have you zoomed in? What were you zoomed in at? Did you use a flash? Did you do this? Did you do that? How many megapixels? The whole 9 yards, it comes right out. So if they don't, and it's full CGI, you know it's a full and fake photo. Full of fakery. So they have to, you know, make it's the real deal. So in addition to that, they also have to have their scientists look at these, their geologists and whoever else they have on board to really take a look at them more closely, scrutinize them. So then after they're done, they go, okay, let's overlay. So they probably have an AI program that just goes over the whole darn thing. This is the reason why you can see like rocks, and you see like the actual like an outline of an object there. Now, if it was you or I doing it, I'd make sure you wouldn't see any lines or anything. That's what makes me think it's an actual AI program, and that it does it quickly and does it pretty thoroughly. So they have to show these photos. They got to be the real photos. So what do? Fine, we'll give them the real photos. We'll just censor them. That's all, and that's what they do. That's what it comes down to. Pete's Vlogs said, trying to buy my own telescope so I can stop making my own YouTube videos, filming the moon, but they're so darn expensive. Look around on YouTube. You'd be surprised. Heck, I was just watching this young kid that was doing this. He's just starting out. Got himself, I think it was an 11-inch, which is still expensive. The 11-inch, I think it was a Celestron. And he started off, he's got his own HD camera hooked up to it and everything. Does a really, really good job. Better than some of the channels I've seen out there. He has a picture of Saturn. He's got he done Saturn, and what was the other one? It wasn't Mars. But anyway, he had really, really decent quality. Of course, you got to stack a lot of these to get them to be like full color and everything else. Because a lot of times you got to stack them and try to get the best quality you can out of that photo. But regardless of the fact, it's like you can do it. And even if you can't get something that large at the time, get yourself an 8-inch Dobsonian. I mean, that's what I was thinking about getting. And of course, some of these things are tall, right? They're like a four foot friggin', you know, basically it looks like a torpedo. But really, really good, you know, telescopes. A buddy of mine's got one. He lives up in the Northeast. really good pictures come out of that thing. Because he's got the camera and everything on it too, on the eyepiece as well. And nice HD camera. And just puts it on his computer. It just goes out there, aims it, have a nice day. And of course, it could be right out there with the laptop too, and just keep moving around because it doesn't have its own, tracking program, and it doesn't track. But it's not the point, though. I mean, if you know what you're doing, you just kind of up, move it, it's done. So really, really cool. And it can be done. It'll cost you some bread, but yeah, it's not that bad. It's not like I haven't thought about that. Mars League says, good evening, everybody. What's going on, Mars Leagues? Good to see you in there. Neil McNabb, he says, has anyone thought of trying to replicate the techniques of obfuscation used by NASA on Mars using, say, a photo of dusty landscape on Earth? Well, what I have done, because they just love like blurring spots of photos and everything else, and so I was trying to do two things at the same time. One, I was trying to show, I showed part of New York. It was I think it was Manhattan Island, right? And what I do is I blurred it. So you can't see any real detail. It looks like just clumps of things as opposed to like individual sharp objects because it was HD photo, right? And the other thing is too, is I was trying to show like an aerial view of some of the areas they showed like in the MRO, the Mars Reconnaissance Orbit. It's got its high-rise telescopic camera to look down at the surface. And it kind of looks very similar because it's not completely sharp, but you can see objects there and they look just like you would see on the island of New York City or anywhere. So what I do is I blurred it and it looked like just clumps of objects sticking together. And then I showed the clear view. So it can be done. The thing is they're so good at what they do because it's not just one thing, right? Spot blurring. Well, they do the spot blurring, digitize some of the areas out. You see like these little digital squares on certain areas. Different wacko colors. They put all kinds of colors all over this. They'll take an object, like this bottle here, and they'll put half of it be white, the other half is the same color as the ground, but yet you can still see the whole shape of it, and that's what you're going to bring out. So there's many techniques that they use to try to hide what's in these photos. You just have to determine, like if you're looking at the moon, it takes an entirely different way to enhance them and bring the stuff out as opposed to a lot of the Martian photos, right? And just like the Neptune moon, right, Triton, it was like completely like whited out like we have on our moon many times. And I find it hard to believe our moon is that reflective. Come on. It's not that bad because we've seen the LRO-C photos, the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter. We've seen that, the photos, and it's absolutely pristine photos until you zoom into them. But they actually look really, really clear, right? They don't look like these mashed potato looking mountain ranges and just weird looking stuff. You can clearly see that that's just crap. And because you can look at LRO-C photos, you can look at the Apollo. And some of the LRO-C photos are also garbage because you look at some of those, they're completely censored out or whited out or whatever. Not all of them, but a lot of them are. It's just, yeah, crazy. What's going on, Mr. John Ward? Good to see you. And he said, what's happening? Not a whole lot. Hope you're doing well. I see the Omicron's running around there, pretty good there, but they say it is only mild cases, which is awesome. I hope everybody's doing well down there. Corey says, I'm in England, though, so telescopes are cheap here, even for a good one. Damn. I'll send you some money. You can send it over to me, all right? Of course, the shipping alone will murder me. Rob Seimer, hello from Somerville, Oregon, USA. What's going on, Rob? Let me see. What's going on there, Miss Hare? Good to see you in there. Oh, he said, I'm only here for a few minutes. I got plans to leave in a bit. Oh, okay. Still good to see you in there. I'm glad you jumped in there. Pete Ferrero says, hello, Chris, and everyone in the chat today. What's going on, Pete? Hope you're doing good. You guys are going back and forth here. Oh, there you go. Mimi Reaction said, Chris, your helicopter video reminds me of a Russian probe that was destroyed by a massive UFO. Oh, you're talking about, yeah, the one that was right next to one of the moons. And of course, remember the photo that they showed? It was like a cigar-shaped shadow on, I think it was Phobos. Because it was Phobos 1 and 2, I think, spacecraft. And they were supposed to send it to either, I believe it was supposed to orbit Phobos. And I believe it was Phobos 2 that took a photo of that, and then all of a sudden they lost communication with it, which is really interesting, if the story is true, of course, right? So it's really, really interesting. John Chavez, I've been watching the Mr. Mars Hoax guy, well, angry. Yeah, yeah, I mean, come on. These guys, like that other guy, Daniel, whatever his name is, something that's got to do with Mars. You can tell these things are fake. And in some of these photos, they're so clear, like some of the mountain ranges and everything, and you know as well as I do, they just don't put out them kind of photos. They don't. So you know that's fake right off the bat. And the fact that you're finding like bottles on the ground and they're clear, like it's clear as this water bottle, come on. Ain't no way Mars is going to let that kind of stuff out. And yet people are falling for it. Getting whatever, how many views, it's like, to be truthful, it's not even about the views, it's about the information being shared, right? Neil McNally said, can we obtain the specs of the Rover cameras? Can they really be this crappy? No, you can actually get the specs to them. They're absolutely awesome cameras. Even the one, like I said, on the MRO, the high-rise camera, like I said, the camera, if you've seen it, you can literally get in a fetal position and pretty much almost hide in this camera. That's how big it is. And it says it can see down to a 4-foot swath on the ground with unprecedented details, is exact wording on that. So, I don't know about you folks, but I haven't seen unprecedented anything yet, at all. I'm seeing a bunch of garbage, to be honest with you. Hellfire Studios, thank you very much for your support, sir. I do appreciate you. You said, happy Friday, Chris. Your content is some of the best on the tube. Keep exposing the cover-ups. Well, I appreciate it, man. And again, thank you for the support. You guys are awesome. Kurt Abanis, what's going on? The Cube Moon. Yeah, that's... What's really funky is somebody said this before. They said, man, it's almost like they just wanted you to see that, because why even show that at all, right? But, you know, they can make that into anything. Guarantee it's not going to look anything. You're still going to see that weird square type thing on the ground, but you won't see much of anything. Oh, it was a cluster of rocks, and once we got closer to it, it looks totally different now. You watch and see. You don't think they're really going to say, oh, by the way, it's, you know, as we went over the horizon, because what was it supposed to be, like 280 feet away or something like that from the rover? You don't think they're just going to go over there and they're going to say, oh, it was only the tip of it, but lo and behold, we got over that hill and there's a mountain, there's structure sitting right there. You know, they're not going to do that. So they'll come out with some weird crap, with some kind of stone, you know, swamp gas or something like that. You know that. It's crazy. Modus Untold Truth. He said, years ago I searched and I have uncovered a substantial amount of evidence to support your claims, which you can give an email so I can share my findings within the same regions as you have gone over. Yeah, you can email me at marsanomalies@aol.com. So if you want to do that, yeah, I'll check it out. What's going on there, Kurt Abanis? Well, Banis, depending how you want to pronounce it. I think it's Banis. Let me see. I don't know if this thing jumped on me or what. Oh, yeah, I guess it did. MG Toe, what's going on? You said the knobs are, if they are really stacked on each other to form some sort of statue. John Shaw, I went to Jabba the Hutt. I know, MG, you're right. And you're asking Jean, or Jean rather. I keep wanting to say Jean, I don't know why. and can actually combine that. Why do all the rocks on Mars have knobs on them? Yeah, I mean, you see what Jean brings out, right? Yeah, it's like these either boulders in strategic places right smack dab in the middle. There could be 3 and then 3. What's the chance of that happening in nature, folks? Come on. Ricardo, Petrozzi, what's going on? Oh yeah, he said, yes, I have tried replicating the obfuscation using the Adobe After Effects tool called Content Aware Fill. Well, I mean, you could still use like if you want to cover something up, you can easily clone that and just the ground itself and just drop it right on top. If you don't want any of it being seen, this is what I don't get. I could take something like a rock, cut out part of the ground, copy, and clone that area and drop it in. You will not see a line out of it. Now, you may see the outline of that clone a little, but that's all you'll see. You won't see any 90-degree angles in it within the circle. You won't see any of that. So it makes you wonder, why are they allowing these photos to be seen or at least scrutinized and then pulled apart? Unless they don't want to bring out the truth themselves, because then, they'll be found out that they lied. So my thing is, it's like, they could just say, oh, we didn't know you people found these. We didn't even know these things were in the photo. Something must have been, you know what I mean? They'll come up with some weird excuse to say, oh, we were unaware of that. Come on. And you know as well as I do, that's BS. They know exactly what's going on. It may very well be, Ricardo. You said, I reckon the onboard computer is able to run the process over the images pre-transmit back to Earth. It's either that or it's encrypted. One of the two. Or it may be a combo, right? It might be both. So that could very well be. Oh my God, I guess this thing did jump. I'm actually going back a little bit. All of a sudden, Whitebeard Sky Daddy, what's going on? He said, hi everybody, and much greetings. And he asking Josh, how are you? Hope you're well, rather. Actually jumped. I was actually moving that comment as I was reading it. That's why I kind of fumbled on it. Josh D. Now all here, hit the frickin' like button, or I'll ask my little gray friend to make some anal probe visits. Ooh, that's not good. Not good at all. Yeah, if you guys don't mind, go ahead and hit that thumbs up if you don't mind. I want to see how far this thing jumped on me here. I was just watching some of those too, Ricardo. He said just watch all 8 episodes of Lost in Space Season 3 yesterday. I was just watching them, I think I'm on the 2nd season. It shouldn't be buffering. Some of you guys are saying it's buffering. I'm looking at the computer right here. It's not buffering at all. Might be just in your area. I've noticed too, I don't know if you guys have checked your speeds. A lot of times, like, let's say it's in the morning, and you check it. Seems to be pretty decent, right? In the evening time, forget about it. Everybody's on, they're streaming stuff. They're all doing kind of stuff. I upgraded my modem, and I went from like, because it was the modem that was limiting my speed. They said, well, we're going to automatically put you in a higher tier as far as speed-wise, and we're going to reduce it $10 a month. I'm like, yes. Of course, it'll probably go up next year anyway, so there's really no, you're not making out anything. But I was only getting like 550 megs down. As soon as I changed this thing, I gained like 400. Now I'm like 950. So it's pretty healthy. And now I'm getting the upload, which was, at the time I was getting like 12 upload. Now it's like 41. I can anywhere between 36 and 41 megs. So that's pretty decent. I mean, it's not like, oh my God, it's blazing fast, but it's pretty fast. It's pretty decent. I'm going to jump all the way down here in the bottom. If I missed anybody, please let me know, because this thing did actually jump on me. So, and I don't want to have everybody still waiting. Is he going to answer this? So yeah, let me just jump all the way down here. Stephen Garnham, what's going on? He said, hi, Chris and believers. What is happening? Adam the Martian, what's going on? He said, definitely there was a civilization on Triton. Now, somebody's asked me that. A couple of people have asked me that. I think on that very video, they're saying, why do you always keep saying was? Well, the only thing I can assume, now, of course, you know what happens when you assume, but is it possible, though, if the people are still there, would they want our probes flying around it? It's kind of like, would we be okay with a probe around Earth at this moment? I don't know. Now, if they're completely laid back, they're not evil in any way, shape, or form, they're not, they're just not, about wars and everything else, maybe they wouldn't care. They're saying, listen, they're being curious, let them have at it. But most people would take that as a threat. It's like somebody coming into your yard and just kind of like walking around the property or the property line of your property. You'd be like, what are these people doing? And then, of course, you got to go out and confront them. So I'm wondering if that would be the case. This is the reason why I always say that. And it's not that I'm convinced that there isn't anybody living there. It's like an automatic, just boom, chances are it was in the past. But it may not be, to be truthful, you guys. It could very well be, people living there now, or beings, right? And this is the reason why we keep seeing these UFOs. We're starting to see it more and more. Maybe they're saying, hey, it's about time these folks are starting to get up to, technologically advanced, and it's about time maybe they'll be okay. We've talked to their leaders, if you will. So we're going to let them go ahead and just probe around. But if they already made themselves present, then there's no reason why they got to have them probe anything around. So I'm just wondering if it's like my default. I automatically assume that there is no more life there. It was just there at one point. Because if that was the case, everybody with a telescope could be looking at Saturn, seeing things constantly flying by. Remember that we had that video where I think we even looked at it on live, where it looked like something going by the rings of Saturn or something like that. And it's just really weird. I mean, so I would assume that we would already know if these people are in communication with us, our elite, if you will. So I don't know. I'm not sure, truthfully. They could be still like living on any moon or planet, whatever it may be. I don't know. But that's my default. So I'm not saying you have to, that I totally don't believe that there's anybody living there. Just that's an automatic default, because like I said, I don't know if I'd want people like looking through my windows of my house or going around my neighborhood or, my house. I mean, that's a good way to get shot. So, yeah. Yeah, that's why you got to check more than one Templar. You said crappy providers can bottleneck certain types of traffic from certain types of websites. Some know you are using a speed test website and BS the speeds. True. That's why I use more than one. And it's pretty accurate just about every time. Now, don't get me wrong. If you use another, if you're hitting a server like way out, well, obviously the speed's going to be slower, right? You're going to get a higher ping or whatever. The ping is going to vary and everything else. So that's going to happen no matter what. John Boyd said, here in South Africa, our fiber is not that fast, Chris. Enjoy it. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I was actually getting throttled back because I was still using the same modem. So I decided, you know what? Let's go bite the bullet. It's like $200 bill, but it's what I do. You know what I mean? It's the work we do here. Everything's got to be solid. It's got to work. And if we want it to be flawless, we got to do that, right? So it's thanks to you folks that support the channel. It helps. So, kudos to you and thank you. I figured your fiber optic would be faster than that. My buddy's fiber optic he had over in the Northeast is like, I forget what it was. It was like a gig up and a gig down. It was crazy fiber optics. It was like, I'm thinking like it'd be a lot slower on the upload. No. But I seen the difference right now when I upload a video. I can just see it. It's like, I'm actually going, okay, let's upload that. And I'm going to put like a thumbnail. And it's already uploaded. I'm like, what are you kidding? So, not complaining. It's like, get it done. Matt Patterson, what's going on? So, hi, Chris, and everyone. What's up? Not much, man. Just chilling. Like I said, you folks have noticed that we got on an hour earlier. I'm hoping that it helps a lot more people, because I know some people have to get off. If it's 4 o'clock this time, it's already 10 o'clock where you're at in the UK. And, of course, for Jean, it's already past that, way past that, because he's around the world. Well, not quite. I'm thinking of what do you call it? I'm sorry, my bad. I'm thinking like New Zealand and Australia. But still, nonetheless, right? It's still, if I start at 4, you're already at 10, maybe 11 o'clock. So I'm trying to make it a little bit earlier, but not hurt too many people just getting out of work. I know a couple of people sounded off and said, well, I get out at 3 and I got to get to work. And I was going to start it at 3. And I'm like, well, I'm trying to, make it work for everybody if we can. It's not going to work for 100% of people, but, we try here. We try. So everybody can get in the conversation and they can have a good time. Mick Goss, rather. What's going on, Mick? Haven't seen you in a while. Said they're going to give Starlink a shot. I actually, they say if you want to try out for it, you can sign up for it. I already have, but I might look into it. I don't think it's going to be that fast compared to what I got now, but it's not cheap. I think it's $500 to buy the kit, and then it's like, I think it's 100, maybe even 150 a month. I'm like, really? It might be about 100. I could be wrong, but I think it's right around 100, which I'm paying about 90. So, yeah, you're right, Ricardo. He said by the time Chris's stream is transcoded and multicast to us viewers, depending on where in the world you are and how you are from CDN location, well, depending on where you're from, you can, I think that's Canadian, I think, you can be up to 60-second real time, behind real time rather. Yeah. Because I can even do it right now. Watch this. Yeah, you're right, Ricardo. He said by the time Chris's stream is transcoded and multicast to us viewers, depending on where in the world you are and how you are from CDN location, well, depending on where you're from, you can, I think it's Canadian, I think, you can be up to 60-second real time, behind real time rather. Yeah. Because I can even do it right now. Now, I just did that where I said I can do it right now, and it was like a good 15 seconds behind. So yeah, what's going on there, Mr. George Mayer? Good to see you in there. Hi, Chris, and great to be here again. Well, glad to have you there, George. Noodles Stew said, this is my second account for my mobile phone, said Noodles. What's going on there, Mr. Mike Knapp? Good to see you in there. What is that? Here we go again. Jumpity. What's going on, Equalize? Good to see you in there. Said if anything is living there, as Donald would say, it's a crap hole. I'm trying to be nice here, yeah. Try to keep it PG rating, if you will. They kind of frown on that if we don't. But sometimes they slip out. Can't help it. Pete Vlogs said some aliens walk the earth too. Absolutely, that's what they're saying. Now, I have never personally seen any other beings that look like us. Of course, they probably wouldn't introduce themselves. Hey, by the way, I'm from Pluto. Good to see you. I mean, chances are they're not going to do that. But it would be interesting to see that. Mimi Reaction said, I bet they are already talking to our leaders. Oh, you can almost guarantee it. And this goes way back in the 40s, probably even way before then. Way before then. Robert Morgan, what's happening? I don't know if I said hi to you earlier. But you said, I sent Goof on Radio and third phase of Moon and link to your Chinese Moon Cube revealed. So they could ask you permission to use it with attribution. Hey, I don't have a problem with that. Listen, it's all about just getting it out. You know, just get the information out, and people can digest it any way they want to, right? You know, it's like I said, I was really amazed, and I don't even think I have it up here now. Let me see if I do, just for craps and giggles here. Let's see. No, it wasn't that one there. Crap. There was, like I said, I was talking about the helicopter one. And what was funny about it is they were talking about, what do you call that? They were talking about the helicopter. And the funny thing about it is, what they did, you see these people commenting, oh, it's dust, or it was a blurring on the camera. I'm going, how would these people come out with this? You're literally talking about, how this blurring's moving around the screen or around the lens? How is that possible? It doesn't make any sense. You know, so, and then like a dust. The dust wasn't on the lens either. Just really ridiculous people. They were saying, all right, who's taking the picture? I'm going, what are they talking about? What do you mean, who's taking the picture? It's the helicopter. It's looking down at the ground, directly at the ground with its camera, and it can see a shadow coming from above it on the ground. I don't understand it. People are literally, yeah, right, who's taking the picture of it? I'm like, really? So it's not like, I'm not trying to be mean, but it's like that's what ignorance will do. If you're not following this stuff closely, you'll never know what's going on. And of course, there's got to be doubters about it. And if I didn't know anything about it, I'd be the same way. Not going to lie. I'd be the same way. I'd be like, what are they talking about? Who's taking a darn photo of this thing? Well, if I learned that the camera was at the bottom of the helicopter, I would know this. So, makes sense, right? John Shriver said steampunk UFOs were caught on camera in 1801. Good question, Neil. You said, how is that object on the Chinese rover being, photo being construed as a cube? To me, it's a semi-rectangular blob with almost no detail or depth. Well, see, that's the thing. Once you bring all that out, because there's a bunch of manipulation there, once you bring it out, you can actually see it. It actually goes down further than on top of the ground, so to speak. You look and you actually see it continues on through where they didn't actually cover up. It's like a spot. It's weird how they do it. It's like a spotty manipulation. Most of it's covered and sometimes there's holes in it, and you can see these things still through it. And you can still bring it out through the overlay of manipulation and censoring. And, they call it the hut or whatever they call it, some kind of weird thing, cube hut or some goofy thing. But there's much more to it. Yeah, we were just talking about that. I don't know if it's Johan Van Dan. So, or Johan, am I pronouncing that either way? He said, the question was, do you know anything of Phobos and the 2 Russian satellites that were lost trying to investigate Phobos? Greetings from the Netherlands. Yeah, we were just talking about that earlier, where Phobos 1 and 2 spacecraft, one of them I think just flew off and never, I don't know if that one they were supposed to go to Mars or Phobos, the moon itself as well. But Phobos 2 was literally got up to, I think it started to orbit around the moon itself, Phobos moon. And like I said, its last photo, according to even a lot of the Russians, they were looking at this thing and it shows like the cigar-shaped shadow on the actual moon. And that's the last time they heard about it. So, or heard communications from it. So I don't know. That was the word. Now, whether that's absolutely 100% true, I couldn't tell you. I can't vet that. But interesting regardless of the fact, because it's almost like, yeah, you want to snoop around us, huh? We'll take care of that problem. I don't know. Ricardo, you said your modem router can seriously impact your latency regards of actual connection speed. Yeah, exactly. Yep. What's going on there, Raw Kids? Good to see you in there. Said hi all. Hi Chris. What's going on? Yeah, Ricardo, I actually kept my other one too, my other router. I just piggybacked it on the new one. The other one I got is a combo router modem, but I decided to just piggyback the other router because of this. I've got 3 cameras on it. There's 2 in the house, 2 outside. Actually, there's 4. So there's 2 outside, 2 inside. Let's see, the Amazon Dot, internet radio. I've got modules that I can turn on, lights on and off and throughout the house. I've got a TV. I'm like, I don't feel like changing every password on these things right now. The only thing we did do is, anybody's phone in the house, they would automatically be on the newest one. And of course, I'm hardlined in, so I don't care about Wi-Fi, although I have the capabilities, but I'm already hardlined in, so I'm good. So, yeah, we don't Wi-Fi. I got a small router sitting here, and this way I can just, put it under the 2 computers, but which can actually slow my speed down a hair bit too, because if you're routing through different things, you got 100 feet of Cat5, so that can slow your speed down too. But the way everything's set up right now, the way I got it set up, it seems to be working pretty well. I can't argue with that. I'm like, leave it alone. I got the coax coming in from outside, going through my ABC battery backup. so it filters out any of that. Last time we were, well, this is a couple years back, we had, well, it was a few years, because when we went on vacation one year, there was a huge lightning storm. In fact, there's a bunch of houses in the subdivision where it actually struck a house and burned everything up in that house. I'm talking refrigerators, toasters, TVs, I don't care what it is. And even my neighbor, his good-sized screen TV, I think it was a 60-inch, like the size of mine here, it blew his TV right up. But I shut everything off when I leave. Everything's completely off. But, funny enough, my modem blew up. And I said, I won't let that happen again. So I routed it through the APC, which is built to do. And you can have some insertion loss. We all know that. But I don't care about a little bit of insertion loss as far as speed-wise. I really don't care about that, because the last time we had storms, it was literally right out in the yard, and it flashed so hot, and boom! Never had any issues with it after that. So, you know, so we're good. And you can also use a lightning arrestor too. You can just, it's basically like a little coupler or a barrel type thing. It just has a little screw, and you can just ground it out. Same thing they use on ham radio equipment and, you know, CBs and stuff. So, yeah. John Ward, you said I have 25 megabytes down, 25 megabytes up fiber, but the highest speeds I download are at, really? Damn, that ain't good. Is it something to do with your modem? I would imagine this stuff's cheap then, if it's only like low speeds like that. Tony P, what's happening? Good to see you in there. Yes, the earlier time is appreciated, Chris. Well, I figured I'm trying to do the best of both worlds, have the best of everybody, so they can, you know, hang and have good conversation and stuff like that. Oh, you said, Matt, you said you've been working, been a while since I've been here, guys. Miss watching. Oh, I'm glad you're back, Matt. You know, but you got to do what you got to do. You know what I mean? Life comes first, you know. Tony Townend, you said, keep on. Keep on what you're keeping on. Was it Robin Parker? What's going on? He said, question. If the CIA has satellites that can read our license plates, clearly then would it be okay to think that those same cameras are on these helicopters? Yeah, you would think it's, like I said, you're going to a planet, a moon, or a body. Let's say you're in charge of one of these space agencies, take your pick, around the world, and it's your eyes to what you're going to see on that planet, or moon, whatever it is. Would you not put the creme de la creme, the best possible camera that money can buy? Of course. You're not going to put some, you know, subpar piece of trash camera on there, and yet this is what we're getting. Subpar photos. I think, personally, they start off as high definition. Could be 4, even 8K. Okay, quality photos, and after they've been run through the mill, so to speak, and through the AI and everything else, it's complete trash. You get garbage back. And this is the reason why it's hard to pull out these things, and you only see bits and pieces. But I believe they come back absolutely pristine. And like I said, heck, we've seen this, what, in the 40s and 50s they were seeing, you could see right down in the ground with pretty good clarity. So, yeah, what gives today? You should see stuff with unprecedented detail. Looking at, you notice how when they take a real close-up of the rocks with these, on the end of the turret on these rovers, it's really clear, it's phenomenal. And yet, just a little further away, it looks like complete garbage. Why? Because it's much more in these photos than they're telling us or they're showing us. Robert says, I have 100 megs down. That's pretty good, megabits. Is it megabits or megabytes? Mimi reacts, or a helicopter flying over the Mars face. That would be interesting. And like I said, we don't even know it's the first attempt. They may be just showing the public that. Oh, look, PR move. You know, look, we get a helicopter that's flying there. They might have sent one there prior to that, or they did not. One of the two. I have no proof either way. Now, is it possible that they did do that? But even if they didn't, and I don't care whether they did or didn't, the MRO, the Mars the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter, and other orbiters also take good photos of the surface of Mars, right? And of course, but the MRO has the better camera, it has a high rise. And again, takes really good detail. You know they've been over the Cydonia region with the face of Mars. You know they have. And they probably have like ungodly, you know, detailed photos of that area. You got to know that. It's got to be crazy. Paul Cargo says, how is your health? Good. Not bad at all. Hope yours is good. Phil Cox with daughters Jessica and Kelsey Brown. What's going on? What is happening? Oops. I don't know if I had said hi to Frack. What's going on there, Frack Centurion? I'm not sure if I said hi to you or not. I don't think I did. Nice one. Eat me. AC power line internet? You're talking about like PoE? I think that's what you're talking about, right? Power over internet? Ricardo said an uninterruptible power supply, or which I like to call the, what do you call it? UPC. Battery backup is a brilliant investment. Well worth spending 150 quid on for something basic to protect all your computer kit and cable modem. Well, see, I've got one large one there. I got one here, controls the computers here, and they're like 1,500 watters. Well, when I say 1,500 watts, not actually 1,500 watts. I think they're like 940 watts, whatever, and I forgot what it equates to amperes and all that stuff, but been a while since I looked at them. But I've got one set up on the modem and internet, and got a regular house phone. It's actually Magic Jack, so it's like $29.99 a year in case I need it. So I've got that set, and like I said, I could be over here running the computers, and I'm pretty much set. I got the battery backup here. You've seen it when the power went out. My computers, everything was still running. Nothing failed. Nothing, you know. If I want to gain time, all I can do is shut this other one down and just keep the other one with the two monitors and shut this one down. And I can run for about an hour with no power. So that's not bad considering this is a gaming computer. 27-inch HD monitor, and I've got another monitor up there. That one there, I believe, is a 24-inch. So, you know, and I showed you guys the pictures of what I've got, the way it's set up. But you know, it's well worth the investment. Hell, I've been over here like doing something on Photoshop, and the power's going out for like 3 seconds. Boom, boom, come back on. All you hear is click, click. Nothing skips a beat here. Everything's just fine. So it's definitely worth its weight in gold, because you'd be like, poof, oh, you're kidding. And you could lose everything you just put on there, man. It's crazy. Not to mention you end up with the blue screen of death at some point if you keep doing that. Oops. Terry Kelling, what's happening? You said, hi, Chris. I have 866 maps internet at the moment. Oh, okay. That's not bad. It's pretty healthy. I'm actually streaming all this crap right now. Let me see something here. This would be pretty funny, actually. Ooh. This is like so many. You got like Ookla. You got all kinds of weird things you can check your speed from. Let's see here. Yeah, because I'm streaming all kinds of stuff right now. It's like at 700. Uploads usually the norm. It's usually around 40, 41, roughly. It could be anywhere between 36 and 41. Pretty cool. This one's funny. This one is, it's Comcast Business. Oh my God, it's hilarious. And I know it ain't that high. It'll show like it's showing like 1,700, 2,000. No, actually it went to 1,608 megs per second. And it's like, that's not true. But, you know, a lot of times it's around 940-ish, 950. Pretty funny. That's not the way it's looking, Neil. Your question was, do all the space-going nations agree not to blow the whistle on each other's discoveries in the solar system? Probably not. I've always said that there's a normal side to NASA. In other words, there's a PR part of it. Like the public gets to see all of that, and the workers are doing their job. Like it's just a normal job and everything's great. And then you have like the upper tier or the black ops section of that kind of thing, where they're in communication with all these other ones that are way up there, and like these elites, so to speak, in every one of these space agencies. They're just kind of working together, and they do work together. Look at China's work; come out the same way that NASA does. So they probably got the same program. They just use the same thing and just take care of their photos, do whatever they need to do to them, right? Noodle says, what's flying near the Ingenuity Mars helicopter? That is a great question. That is a great question. Peter Petrelli, who said the China Mars hut video you covered was quality. I appreciate it, Peter. I mean, I like to analyze these things from every direction. And like I said, after watching a couple of these videos on some of these channels, because, you know, a lot of people are saying it's like the hottest thing right now, if you will. And I'm going, really? Let me check this thing out for myself. Again, they're trying to pass off like a dust or blurring on the, well, here's the thing. Let's backtrack. If you notice, the actual helicopter will kind of twist and turn a little bit as it's flying, right? And they say, well, it's a blur mark on the lens. Well, why doesn't the blur mark stay still? It doesn't matter what the terrain is. The blur mark should stay there. And if it's dust on the actual on the lens, again, it would stay there while the Martian, you know, basically the ground, you know, it moved, but that shouldn't. So that blows them theories out of the water. And, you know, so they're coming out with all these weird, just things, I mean, it's just crazy. And like I said, people are saying, oh, right, yeah, who's taking the photo? Oh, the helicopter? I mean, Mags K's in there. I don't know if I said hi to Mags. How you doing, Mags? Good to see you in there. It's a great question, Robin Parker. You said, question, why wouldn't they have cameras facing every direction on those helicopters? Well, to me, honestly, this is what's funny. They claim it's to help the Perseverance rover to get along, to look over the area first prior to the Perseverance rover getting to that area. Curiosity rover never needed that. Spirit and Opportunity never needed that. Of course, Sojourner didn't really do too well. It didn't really go far. So we can throw that one aside. But none of the other rovers needed to do that. They had their own automation. You know, they're autonomous. They can move around, stop, go around obstacles, go over them if they could. They just measure it and it just goes over. It does its own thing. Suddenly, we need a helicopter to be able to do that. No. What's funny about it is I think it's there to go over areas that the rover cannot. It can move up to it and can take all kinds of pictures crystal clear, but it can't get over it, or they don't want to run over it for certain reasons. So they have this helicopter to fly over it, analyze it. Of course, it's taking another view from the rovers, and maybe get some kind of 3D view kind of thing going on, right? Like a 3D mapping. And I think that's what it's doing. And so, you know, to me, it's like that would be what I would think they'd use it for. That just makes more sense to me. Not, you know, it's helping the rover move around to each spot. No. I don't buy that for a moment. You guys buy that crap at all? No, I don't. Don't think so. John Ward, you said power dips kill electronics too. Yeah, you have brownouts and stuff like that, and of course spiking and stuff like that. I've got a line conditioner in the other room for all my entertainment center. And you know, if you get a brownout, there's too many people using electricity and the voltage drops, it automatically boosts it, just like the APCs will do. They'll do the same thing. you know, as soon as the power starts to drop a little, it automatically kick in to raise the voltage and everything else. So it's pretty cool. I mean, they're well worth the investment. I want to jump all the way down here. What was it at? I just seen it. Oh, Frank's going to be on the telescope. He said the telescope is coming out tonight, Joss. Oh, yeah. Neil McNabb said, does the copter have ground-penetrating radar capabilities, perhaps? I'm not entirely sure. I'll be truthful with you. I don't know. I know it has, I don't think it has, it may have infrared. I'm not even sure about that even. But regardless of the fact, this thing's supposed to be like really good camera, right? And knowing that, and if anybody knows the answer, go ahead and answer it. Because I can't remember at the moment. I don't think that it does. I could be wrong. But to me, it just seems like you're going to put the best camera possible. People are like, well, you don't understand, man. It's like, you know, they're on these, they're trying to cut back as much weight as possible. Really? Look at the size of the camera in these iPhones. What are you kidding? The lens ain't very big. You don't need to be total, like telephoto lens either. You just need to have a real good camera, be so far off the ground, and take picture perfect, like, you know, pristine photos with great detail. You don't need to have, I mean, well, here's the thing too, you can have like a 20, 30, you know, meg camera, you know? So this way they can blow these photos up to God knows what and see even better details. So to me, it just seems like, I don't know. You know they're going to have, like I said, really good photos because looking down on them, even the Rovers have them. You know, I'm trying to remember if they, well, this is what they said. This was funny. Take HD photos as well as videos. I've never seen a video yet from that Rover. You can bet they have, but we haven't at all. So to me, it just seems like, I mean, no doubt they're going to have the best cameras they can put on it. There's no doubt about it. But to me, that's what they're using it for. They're actually trying to fly over things and look down because a Rover, either A, they don't want to run over it, or B, they can't because it's too big. So they just having a helicopter go up and over it, take pictures around it, and then of course they get a side view of it, and there you go. Get all the pictures they need. Or if they need to fly up to somewhere higher and go into something, that's what that thing's for. That's an interesting comment, Tony P. was saying to Neil. He said, but China seems to have gone to great lengths to get this image noticed. I still think a warning shot to the U.S. Yeah, and truthfully, I hope it is. I hope they say, you know what? Your government's been lying to you. Here's what the real deal is. I'd love to see that. Terry Kelling, your question was, have you heard about the asteroid that's supposed to be crossing Earth orbit tomorrow? Yes. You're talking about Nereus or Nereus, depending on how you pronounce it. I actually was looking at this earlier, and fun facts about it. It's worth $4.71 billion because they believe the metals on it is like nickel, iron, cobalt. Travels at 14,719 miles per hour, and the size of it is 1,082 feet, which is compared to the Eiffel Tower, which is 1,060 feet. So really interesting. It's supposed to be here on the 11th tomorrow. Well, it'll be already tomorrow, some of you folks. But I think they're going by here in the United States. And but the thing's quite large. In fact, you can see it right here. This is where some of the stuff I was reading too. It says 5 billion asteroid, $5 billion asteroid Nereus flies by December 11th. And you can see the size of this thing, what they're showing. In comparison, you got the Shard, 1,016 feet, 1,060. So you get the idea. It's pretty large. It's pretty big. I love that they got so much information about this thing. It's crazy, right? You know, and I just read off a few of them. It's approximately 330 meters, yards wide. Its size is often compared to the Eiffel Tower. And of course, you can see right there. It says close is a relative term. And of course, it's going to be 2.4 million miles or 3.9 million kilometers of Earth, still about 10 times farther away than our moon. It'll swing closest at approximately 1351 UTC or 10:51 a.m. Eastern Time. Translate UTC to your time. The Minor Planet Center classifies 466 Nereus as a potentially hazardous object. Potentially hazardous doesn't mean the asteroid is on the collision course with Earth. That's just a label of objects, or four objects, I'm sorry, that come within 19.5 times the moon's distance and are larger than 460 feet or 140 meters. So Nereus fits the bill. So, yeah, I mean, it'd be cool to see. I mean, and they actually said, believe it or not, they were thinking about that may be a good candidate for a rendezvous. Like the other asteroids they've done this too, right? Yeah. I wonder why they would check that out. So they're thinking about maybe doing some kind of a rendezvous with that as well. Pretty interesting. And can imagine actually mining that thing, right? Space entrepreneurs are eyeing it. Asteroid Nereus is an elongated rock that travels 14,719 miles per hour or 23,686 kilometers an hour. While this may sound like a huge speed, Nereus is in fact a slow space rock compared to many others. Yeah, I've heard others going like 27,000, 28,000. That relatively low speed is an advantage for those who want to set a robotic spacecraft in the future to study it. See what I'm saying? That is, its slow speed means a spacecraft can rendezvous, whatever, with an asteroid more easily. In 2009, space scientists considered Nereus a strong candidate for a rendezvous mission. It would take about a year for a robotic spacecraft to enter orbit, around Nereus. And space entrepreneurs are eyeing Nereus as well for the same reason, because of its slow speed relative to other asteroids. Yeah. Let me see. Tim Houston, what's going on? Good to see you in there. Yeah, it's a great question. Mars League just said NASA getting away with their garbage images is a big scandal. Tim Houston, you said, I don't think they want to risk their pensions. Well, Jean Ward, take it away. So good night, everyone. Thanks for the hangout, Chris. Yeah, we're going to have you on again soon. I didn't even think about this. I actually got in here and I was getting everything set up. And what I'll do is I'll try to, who knows, maybe we'll do it sooner. I'll contact you. Make sure you check your Skype and maybe your videos too, because I'll drop you a comment or something like that, let you know what's going on. And we'll have you on. We can do some more talking about some photos of some of the work you've been doing too, which is awesome. So keep doing it. Whitebeard Sky Daddy says, Eisenhower tried to expose the military-industrial complex and tell the people about the cost of secret keepers being in power. Yep. Peach Vlog, she said, Chris, do you think they can hear sounds from Mars from a microphone? I really wish they would release the audio so we can hear what goes around the rover. Well, they do actually. They had like, I think it was like 3 or 4 audio bites. And they had one that was like, well, they had the actual seismograph on the ground. That one there was different, of course. They measured like trembling Mars quakes, and then of course they had microphones. You can listen to the sound around it, which sounded like wind and stuff like that, and you can hear it blowing by and stuff like that. And but the seismographs were really interesting because it sounded like you can hear something coming from a distance, gets louder, 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 and then of course it goes away. And then of course they had something. It sounded like a bang, 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 you're constantly banging on this thing, and then of course it let up and. It's like, what the heck is that all about? So, and of course they'll say, well, we were trying to use the arm on the InSight lander at the time, and that's what you heard. Oh, I'm sure it was. So, and in fact, remember we were talking about this where they said when they tried to use the seismograph, I think it was the first time, I could be wrong, but what they said was it was funny because they said, What you're hearing in the background is the actual arm moving. And I'm going, wait a minute, so let me get this right. So you want to have your equipment, your testing equipment, the seismograph of all things, and yet you're going to cause something that's going to make a vibration in the body of that lander, and of course it's going to be transmitted into the ground, and the seismograph is going to pick that up. So where's the technical reasoning for that? It made no sense. There's no point in doing something like that. So I thought that was interesting. Unless they just wanted to hear what it sounded like through that, that would make sense. Because they're going, okay. But you'd think they would have done all these studies then. Think about it. Because you really don't have to have sound if they say, what they claim the air is, any oxygen in the air is very thin, then it really doesn't matter because the vibration is going to go into the actual, the Martian surface, and of course the seismograph is going to pick it up. So it's not solely through a microphone, it's actually through a seismograph, through vibration. So I found that pretty interesting, right? Pretty wild. Hope L says, they're not going to spend almost billions of dollars to send something outsiders with a camera from the 90s. You're absolutely right. Totally agree with you. I could take this old, I think it's a 7, this iPhone 7. I could take a ton better pictures than that. In fact, I got some old phone laying around here somewhere. It's got it's the most saddest camera on the planet. It takes better photos than that. At least better quality anyway. They're very small, but they're at least they're quality. Absolutely agree with you. Absolutely spot on there, Hope. Kyle, what's going on? Good to see you. And he said, my internet on the TV is not working, but I still have the phone here. And I do appreciate your support as always, Kyle. Thank you very much there, brother. That is awesome. Sup, Chris and all. Love the little Christmas tree. It's cool. Yep, Equalizer, you're right. He said the space station flies at an average altitude of 248 miles, or 400 kilometers, above Earth. It circles the globe every 90 minutes at a speed of 17,500 miles an hour, or 28,000 kilometers. Yep. Yep, it's around 17.5. Yep. Jerry Lahane says, thumbs up, subscribe, guys. Wham-bam. Headed good. All right, Mike, you taking off? You said, good night, everyone. I'm so drunk. I'll see you next week. All right, Mike, have a good one. And stay safe and try not to get too tipsy. As long as you're home, you're all right, I guess, right? But if you're home and you're chilling, throw one back for me, will you? But thanks for being here. Yeah, that's crazy. He said, I remember watching the meteor back in 1972. It was 5 miles in diameter. Watched it come out of the south and head north here in SLC, Utah. It looked like the sun flying across the sky. Yeah, that must have been insane. That's a good size asteroid. If it was that big, yeah, no doubt. Mimi, you said, never forget asteroids can be crafts in disguise. Yeah, like the Amora, right? Same thing. Where, like some of the scientists are saying, I don't think there was some kind of rock at all. It could have been some kind of spacecraft or something like that. And it kind of makes sense. I mean, if you're gonna hide from anybody you want to send, it could be a test probe, right? Something that's like basically all it does is analyze solar systems that you send it to. It kind of makes sense. You'd be like, oh, it's just another rock hurling out in space. Never think nothing of it. And if it's not giving off some kind of, electronic signal, or if it's not giving off any kind of radiation, it's not doing, then it would just flow through space, and you never think nothing of it. Go right through in your solar system and go right back out due to gravitational pulls. So to me, it could very well be something like that. How many times did like Bennu, they send these asteroids and these rocks, and like I said, not more, because they just kind of looked at it, but you could better hit it with some kind of radar imaging and stuff like that to see if they can penetrate through that. Kind of like what they did with the moon, only this thing's on the move, right? But that would be interesting. So I'm kind of curious what that thing really was. Lapis, you said China has some new structures captured on the moon. Yep, just did a video on that very same thing. Hope Alley said, Chris, what do you think about mandatory vaccines? Don't approve. Al Shitsky. I don't. Because I say, this is what I tell people. Where does it stop? Seriously, where does it stop? They'll take all your rights away if they can get through with this. If they can get away with it, they're going to do it every time. Germany's already doing it. You will have your papers or you will get fined. So if you don't get it, you get financially pretty much broke, right? And I don't know if at certain time you basically either go to prison. But as far as I know, it's only about just hitting you with fines. New York wants to do the same thing. They're doing mandatory for like everybody who's got to work. Now, everybody that works at home, they're exempt. But where does it end? Where does this stuff end? It's like it'll take every woman's rights away or everybody else's rights away. You're not going to be able to breathe or do anything you're not supposed to do. It's like, what are we living in here? Is Hitler back? I mean, what's going on here? What is the deal? It's wrong. It's wrong, and I don't like it. I think people are entitled. If you want to, do the vaccine, you want to get the vaccine, by all means, you should do that. I think you should, because you feel safe, or you're trying to be safe for the people that you love, maybe grandparents, maybe a child or whatever. I personally don't like them, and I'm not going to get it. And that's coming from a guy who had COVID and was in the hospital for 9 days with double pneumonia. Only, and some people, like I said, I've said this before, people are probably going, what is wrong with him? You think he'd get that? I mean, that's crazy. No, now I'm far better off. I'm far better off than people who've got the shot, where I've got more antibodies. So not only do I have my own antibodies, but I had gotten antibodies while I was in the hospital. So I was only in it for 9 days. I just heard a guy tell me today, it was a friend of mine, he says, there's a guy he knows that's 49 years old. He's got to wait for a lung transplants now. I went, from what? And then he said, well, he had gotten COVID, double pneumonia. I said, oh my God, I just went through the same thing. He said he's been in there for 2 months now. All depends on how you are, too. If you're active, if, you're constantly, you're trying to be healthy, doesn't mean you can't get COVID just because you're healthy. Just understand that. It just means you have a lot better chance of fighting it off if you end up in the hospital. Some people say, well, you got lucky. I don't think so. I don't think I got lucky. I think it's just because my body, because I was relatively healthy. I consider myself relatively healthy. Now, do I eat trash and stuff like this every now and then? Sure, but it's not an everyday occurrence. We eat pretty well. In the morning, I have like a bowl of fruit. Noontime, I have like a bowl of vegetables and stuff like that. And I mean, I eat a lot of times. I eat them raw. A lot of people are like, ugh. But I eat them raw because it's about, not killing the nutrients that's in these things, right? And then we might have like a nice meal at night. That's what we do. And maybe a little snacks. Like I brought a couple of these to eat, little crunch bars, but they're like little bite size. You can see the size of them. I'm not mounging down a bag of these things, right? But like I said, back to your question, no, I don't approve of them. Zicoda, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but thank you very much for your support. I do appreciate you. He said, hi, Chris and everyone. I hope you're doing well. I'm doing good. Kyle, thank you again, sir, for your support, man. I do appreciate you. He said, okay, you get vaccinated, you still get sick, you still transmit COVID. So what does that mean? The vaccine didn't do anything. I think they failed. I think they failed miserably. And I don't know about everybody else, because I can't speak for everybody else, state or country. But now they're saying, well, because of the Omicron, right, you should get the booster. Wait a minute. Are people forgetting that this didn't work to begin with? Now, don't get me wrong. A lot of people went through the shots. No problem. No issues whatsoever. Perfect. And then there's some people who are having serious difficulties. And even my own governor now in this area, finally, he said, what did he say? He finally said, oh, yeah, there's people out there. There's a lot of people now actually getting this COVID even though they got the shots. They failed. It's like a false sense of security here, people. It's like you get it and you're going, oh my God, I'm so glad I'm protected now because my state told me to do it. The law, well, depending on where you're at, the law told me to do it. My hospital told me it was safe to do. That's not always true. Again, people having issues. There's people in the ICU in this area who have been not only the double jab, but the booster as well. What is going on here? And then people like Now they're trying to push, yeah, see, this is the reason why you need the third, you need your jab, your booster, because now we get Omicron. There ain't nothing wrong with Omicron. They're saying that it's actually a mild case. So at very most, you might have probably a bad cold out of it. Nobody's dead. I don't believe anybody's died from it yet. Has anybody heard of anything like that? Please inform me, because I haven't heard about it. And I may be inaccurate, but I haven't heard anything about that yet. So, so they're trying to push this crap on everybody, and I just don't get it. I really don't. Max K said, communism, Chris. Do as they say or else. Yeah, that's pretty much what it comes down to. If they say, if that happens in that area, people are they're going to get flaked out. They're just going to get pissed off. And, you know, right now, like I said, I'm waiting until, I think it's my last doctor's appointment, because it's like you go to the hot doctor and get checked out, because they want to make sure you're good. If they said tomorrow, by the way, everybody that works, which currently I'm working from home, but like I said, I'll be going back. But if they say, okay, even people who people are home, nah, not going to happen. Nope. Over my dead body. Not going to happen. Phil Cox, he said, only government officials can be mandated, not the people. They are not laws. I don't know. Like I said, in Germany, they're trying to make sure it's mandatory. Absolutely. You have to have it. If you're walking down the street and they ask you for your papers, you don't have it, fine. So they're not going to, at this time, I don't think they're locking people up, but you should be fined. You should be, again, it's kind of like the women, you know, where they should be in charge of their own body. And if anything happens to them, you know, they should be able to make their own choices. Well, what happens if they take all that away? And then they take others' rights away. And then they take this away. When does it end? No, it's not right. Kurt Urbanus, you said, now I got the idea. Maybe another Amora. Could very well be. Eric Blair, what's going on? Yeah, I mean, you got to be real, right? He said, Chris, calling it as it is. You got to be real. I mean, a lot of people say, listen, I got the shot. I had no issues. And there ain't nothing wrong with that. And I'm glad that nothing's happened to you. What a lot of people are having a problem with is the biggest issue is don't force me to take anything. I have rights. Where's your rights at? You're losing them. And if you don't stand up to it, you're pretty much, yeah, you're screwed. And then there's I don't know what the heck you put in my body, and I don't know how my body's going to react to it. You might die from it. You might become handicapped. You just don't know. A lot of people have gone through, you guys have heard this. Just listen to the news. If the news and the locals are telling you the truth, you know what I'm saying is true. It's a bunch of crap, and it's not right. Jackson O, he said to control people with fear. Spot on. Yep. War crime, he said, Mars Perseverance Sol 265 left mass cam, well, Z camera. I think you're right. I think I've actually started looking at that one too. More and more. I heard about that, Robert. He's saying the vaccines are causing the variants because the virus is looking for a way to survive. Australia is arresting people and they have basically CV-19 camps. Yeah, I believe that. And it seemed to me I heard about something like that, but it's crazy, right? TNT 87, 1998. What's up, fellas? What's going on? Good to see you in there, man. Exactly, Pete. Spot on. One size doesn't fit all, individual choice. Yep. Max K says they're going to force a civil war. They're pushing too far. Yeah, push enough, people are going to push back, right? And it's like, no, people are just not going to do it. Sounds funny when I say it. Eat me. Oh, eat me says mineral spirits kills COVID. Soak your hands in it for 5 minutes. Even I think just rubbing alcohol will kill that. All I'll say is about this is I ain't going to work on Maggie's farm no more. Thank you, Ricardo. Appreciate you, man. Oh, that's good. No more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack. Mimi said, I'm from Germany. You won't be asked for your COVID pass on the street by the police. Only if you enter a train or bus or buildings with okay, I got you. But still, I mean, the point is, though, it's like you're being targeted. So what are people doing now? They're walking more as opposed to taking the train? Talk about an inconvenience. And it's just another way to pressure you to finally go, oh, frig, I'm just going to give up. Let me just get the shot. And that's what they're hoping. They're going to wear you out until finally you get it. That's what it comes down to. Les Singleton. Yep. Chris, give me liberty or give me death, and it's always gonna see you. It's always gonna good to see you. Rather, I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean, same here, Les. Appreciate you. And that's what I'm saying. It's like people don't want to deal with that crap. You know, they're like, listen, it's my body. I'll do what I want with it. You don't have the right to do that, and you should stick to your guns. Kyle, same thing. He said over half the people that I know will not take the shot, especially when. And well, here's the funny part. And they wonder why people won't get it. They're going, at first, remember when people getting the shots were like, wow, maybe I should do the same thing. And then they wonder why it slowed after they said people with COVID were now getting it. They're getting the COVID again. Or they're getting the Delta strain. And they wonder why these people are like, wait a minute, how can you haven't fixed the first vaccine that'll kill the COVID yet, meaning completely make it null, right? So what's the point? Delta's, you're not going to do nothing with Delta, and you sure in hell ain't going to do anything with Omicron. So what is the point? It's failed. It's a failed piece of trash. Like I said, Rand Paul is all over Fauci. There's Fauciism. I mean, he's literally saying, why don't you please admit that what you've done was complete crap? Why don't you admit that you're wrong, and you're literally basically supporting this these facilities, laboratories to do this. He said right now they're messing around with viruses that have like a 15 to 50 mortality rate. He said, can you imagine what would happen to this civilization if that got out? First of all, why are they even fooling with these things? He even told them, he says, this was engineered, this was made. It was made from SARS. SARS could not be transmissible to people. Only animals, I believe it was. And by putting the COVID and mixing it and changing it up, it made like a super virus, and this is what happened. Now it's transmissible to people. They knew what they were doing. Why would you do that? It didn't escape. I mean, it didn't like leak out by accident. Oh, it was a bat or stop it. No, it was not. It was engineered, period. And they probably sent out people with, briefcase like you see in movies. Oh, you go to that country, you go to that country, you go to that country. Okay, you let yours out today, tomorrow we'll let it. So it'll look like people travel from a plane and then they started getting it. They just have to throw the vial on the ground in a busy area and everybody's got it. So it's just like that. It's a big explosion of it. They don't have to, you don't have to be like super sneaky, but it's just, okay, whatever. And nobody's going to be none the wiser, folks. Peter Petrelli said, I took the vaccine and I was fine, LOL. I wasn't expecting anyone to grow a third arm. I just don't want something in my body that is potentially invasive. Humans are resilient. Yes. There's no need for that. But some people are saying that they get like paralysis from the waist down. They're just having serious issues. People end up in, now just in the vaccine, let alone getting COVID again, and ended up in the ICU. What? Crazy. Long Island, New York. What's going on, man? Good to see you in there. He said China and NASA are lying about the alien hut on the moon. Yes, absolutely. Frank Miklos, you're absolutely spot on, man. You said I had COVID 2 times. Second, not as bad as the first. Why? Because you already had antibodies that killed off the second one. I will not get the vaccine. I think that I am more protected than those who got the vaccine. Yes. You got more antibodies. You got hundreds as opposed to like 12 to 20. So yeah, definitely. Eat Me says the mask served one purpose, and that, I believe, was for facial recognition calibration software. Yeah, I mean it's a little far-fetched, but it's not out of the question, though, right? It would not surprise me. Where you going? Hmm? Where?
Christmas shopping.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
What do you get me? Anything good?
I'll see.
All right.
All right, love you.
Love you too.
I'm not back. Can you pick up Joe? I sent you a message.
Huh?
I sent you a message on the phone.
Hmm.
I'm not back in time.
Well, looks like you better get going then, huh?
Love you.
Love you too. All right. Let me see. Christmas shopping, sweet. What am I gonna get? Take a new telescope. Noodles. I do want a Nordic alien blonde wife or a Palladium interplanetary hookup. Love it. Metalhead, what's going on? Good to see you there, man. He said, look, guys, I took the shot. I'm getting over COVID. I'm glad I had it. I should have gotten worse. I'm immunocompromised. Okay. I barely had small symptoms. That's thanks to the vax. It's not a conspiracy. No, it's not about the conspiracy. It's about if you had gotten the shot prior. Now I don't know if he said I took the shot. I'm getting over COVID. So did you have COVID first, or did you get the shot first? The whole point of it, I'm saying, is that if you gotten the shot, okay. Remember when it first came out? I'm not talking about now. When you first got the shot, it was a people were thinking that they were protected. It's a false sense of protection. Here they are thinking, man, at least I'm doing better now. I'm doing great. I'm protecting my family. Everything's good. In fact, I know a girl that works with us. She literally had the shot, double jabs, as well as, no, I don't think she went for the booster yet. Not only does she have it now, but she's also, her daughter has it as well. So now she's going for the transfusion and hoping that she'll feel better, which she will. She'll get over it. So the point is, it's a false sense of protection. When they told you when it first came out, everything was going to be fine. Yeah, you have a few little adverse reactions, of course. It happens with every drug out there. But more and more people now are starting to get this thing. What is the deal? So it's not so much a conspiracy as it is a failure. That's what I'm saying. It's not even about conspiracy. It's about failure. And that's at least from my point of view. I'm not saying I'm speaking for everybody else here, right? AKA, man, you said once humans can't infect other humans, I'll wear my mask. Oh, so you're saying until they can't do it no longer, yeah. Peach Vlogs, he said, I hear people are getting very ill from this vaccine and the boosters. I heard one person got really sick and ended up with COVID from the COVID shot, which is kind of weird. Well, I mean, is it possible it's not the shot itself? It's just that they just happened to contract it again. Again, if I was to get it, I'd be thinking, wow, I just feel secure. I want to do this because I want to do this not only for myself, but for my family. And I think it was my son that actually came home with it. Then I got it, then my wife got it. They were mild. They were okay. Now, I had a fever for X amount of days, which I probably should have went in like maybe 2 days earlier. I would have been a lot better off than I was. However, it is what it is. Got through it. I'm fine. In fact, I work out now. I try to do cardio, and of course, you know, if you're jogging and everything else, then you're strengthening your lungs again. Your heart's good, and that's the whole idea of it. I'm hearing people that go, listen, I used to jog 10 miles a day. I can't even barely jog a quarter mile now. I can barely even jog at all. So you get inflammation of the heart, especially for the younger folks. You have all kinds of issues, and I don't know if it's about the lungs too, but it's crazy, man. It's just like people just don't want to be a statistic, and I don't blame them. It's their right whether they take it or not. Yes, Phil C. He said, often referred to as fetal cells, some of which are originally derived from aborted fetus. The use of fetal cell lines is very sensitive and important topic with some faith. Yeah, I've heard this as well. Now, I'm not there looking under a microscope and looking at these things myself, so I can't vet any of that. But I'm going by scientists who are literally the hospitals look up to as well as the doctors look up to. It's the people, those are the people you want to pay attention to, and of course read like peer-reviewed papers, you know. Like I said, I'm not against anybody getting it. I think they should if you want to feel safe. But again, it was like a false sense of safety. And everybody's realizing it now. What the hell? So here's the deal. You could have gotten so whether you got it before or after, the COVID before or after your shot is immaterial. You could have got the COVID and would have been perfectly fine. You would have been fine. You probably wouldn't have went through a rough spell. You would have been just as well. Now you're now protected because now you would have had antibodies without the vaccine. Now you may say, well, I don't know. I don't know if I would have went through it that well without the vaccine. I don't know. You don't know that. That's the weird part. Eric Blair, he said, can't beat innate immune system unless medically vulnerable. Yes, a lot of people have a lot of issues, though. They may have more issues with the COVID or the vaccine, right? Renee V, he said, and that's the danger that the vaccine is far from taking years. That vaccine is far from taking years, and then now they have a power shot. Really hard to believe. Yeah, I mean, well, I think everybody's biggest argument was this, right? I think people's biggest argument was, you know, first, why am I getting it? Even after I got these shots, you said I'd be okay. Again, you'll get some adverse things. This happens to everything. I don't care if it's a flu shot. But more and more people are starting to see this is cropping up everywhere. And people are getting really pissed off about it because they figured they're safe. They took the chance. God only knows what's in that. And, you know, and I can't blame people for being that way. I really can't. Eric Blaze said it's not a vaccine. It's a genetic altering experiment. Well, they say it basically gets into your DNA. PCG 151 says natural immunity, gang. Yeah. They say basically it goes in a DNA level. And now a lot of people will say, well, it doesn't do that. Like you hear doctors say that. But yet people have seen changes in people's DNA. And I'm not saying altering you so you turn into a lizard. I'm saying that it's changing you in a way that it's affecting you down the road. And a lot of people are saying that, you know, you got your cells, your T cells, your C cells, all of these ones that protect your body in certain ways from like cancers and different other viruses, now it's making them where they're inactive. They don't function anymore. So it's leaving you wide open for anything that comes down the pike that you can get. Whatever, it just either turns on in your body by itself or you get, you know, through the air, whatever. And now you're susceptible. That's what people are reading and they're frightened. Now, that's what I read on some papers and that's what it says. Whether it does, whether I believe it or not, is immaterial. The biggest thing I complain about is it's your right to do what you want with your body. So if you went out and you got it, don't feel bad that you did. Because you're probably saying, listen, I want to protect myself or my family. If you didn't, don't feel bad about it. It's just like, listen, yeah, I got it. I got protected now. In fact, I was just talking to a guy today. He says, yeah, but only for 2 or 3 months. I said, who told you that? Who told you that? You know, your immunity, it's like from bad colds and fevers. It's like, it's basically, I think it says it's like it resides back into your bones. And then when you get something, it kind of comes out and it, you know, it does its thing. The antibodies attack it and then kill it off. So if I was to get COVID again, it's just going to strengthen my immunity. Yes, I'll get it again. I'll get a bad cold, whatever. I'll get through it and it'll build up more immunity. Then another strain comes around. Because I built up more immunity, it's going to kill it off. So on and so forth. This is the reason why you have an immune system. People are going, oh, I got to listen to the government. They're always right. Well, that part I don't agree with. Phil Cox, he said, all governments around the world are just full of shite. Power-hungry narcissists who need to be stripped of power. Yep. The G's views, what's going on? He said the latest vaccines coming out are vaccines. It's, I'm sorry. mRNA rubbish. Pretty much. Wow, that straw is like the size of an Alaskan pipeline. Big damn straw. Frank Miklosh, he said, some vaccines are dangerous if you already have the illness. There isn't enough data about the COVID vaccine if you already had it. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, like I said, I don't judge people who have gotten it. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying that I think people are entitled to do what they want with their bodies. Some people will say they're selfish because they're not getting the shot. You can feel that way if you like. But some people are going, listen, you know, I have family or friends that had really bad adverse reactions to it. I'm not going to take the chance. Can you blame them for it? No. Well, that's what I'm saying, Metalhead. So, yeah, I agree with you. He said, I don't feel bad about getting the vax. I got it because close people were dying all around me. Yeah, I get that. And like I said, I'm not here to judge. I'm just saying my own personal opinion and from what I read. So, yeah, I mean, you know, you got to look at both sides. Is it good for me or is it not? Well, they're saying that I can't, in the beginning, they're saying to me I cannot get this virus. Okay, I'm good. I'm going to go out and get the jab. I'm good to go. I get the jab. Okay, you got to wait X amount of months. What was it, a month or two? And get the second jab. Okay, I'm down. Let's go get it. Boom, I'm done. Now it's a third jab. Where does it stop? Where does it stop? So it's ineffective if you're going to constantly get hit with this thing, and it's not because of the different strains. They weren't saying about the different strains at the time. They weren't talking about Delta, and they weren't talking about Omicron. They were talking about COVID at the time. And yet they were saying, oh, you got to get the third shot. Oh, got to boost it. Why do you have to boost anything? Because that was supposed to be like the first shot, if I'm not mistaken. And it's like people are just, listen, you know, I thought it was going to take one shot, maybe two, and I'm good. Now you're going to want me to take a third. Now they want to make it a yearly thing. Flu shot, I get. The flu shot is tried and good. They've, you know, don't get me wrong, some people still have adverse conditions. But to me, it's like it's tried and proven, the flu shot. So if I was going to get anything, that's what would be what I would get. Yeah, Metalhead, exactly. They have regular flu shots. Or you're saying they did, or you're saying they have regular flu shots. Either way, yeah, you like that, Pete? Chris Pipeline. Look at the size of the straw, folks. Good Lord. It's like, you don't have to take very much sipping with that. You're like, Phil Cox, you said, telling me to get the jab to protect others is like telling me their seatbelt won't work unless I wear one. Yeah, I mean, believe it or not, remember I told you guys, they said, what we need is herd immunity, okay? Herd immunity back then meant that everybody needs to get the shot and we'll have herd immunity. That was the main thing. Now suddenly they flipped the script. Now it's, oh, wait a minute. They're saying now, and it was come out of the UK, it was a paper from the UK saying, everybody needs to get this, not the vaccine, but actually catch this virus so we can get herd immunity. It changed. Why? Because they know once people get it, they're going to build immunity to it, natural immunity, and then we're going to have herd immunity, not through the vaccine. They totally flipped that. All right. I don't know if you guys have seen this here, UFO AC, it's a research group, right? Now, I don't know how much of a research group it really is, but so they exist. It's not a big secret. A Russian cosmonaut told about aliens and secret Soviet program to study UFOs. It says they exist. It's not a big secret. Okay. And it says a Russian cosmonaut, Mikhail Koniko, although he has not seen the little green men, is firmly convinced of their existence because the universe is infinite, or infinite, depending how you want to pronounce it, and people are not its only inhabitants, which is confirmed by the top secret Soviet program. Mikhail is sure that aliens exist, which is confirmed by the stories of his colleagues who have seen UFOs. Although he has not met with any alien beings, the Russian cosmonaut admitted it's not a big secret that they exist. I have not seen the aliens from the station for quite objective reasons, but I am sure that they exist. I was just unlucky. I'm not sure what that means, but okay. If the universe is infinite, then would then it would be somehow presumptuous to suspect or think that we are the only ones. In addition, there is a science of ufology. This was confirmed by both our American colleagues and ours. So, and I've heard about this years ago. They were talking about this, and they were talking about this one right here. You know, we're talking about like a mushroom kind of UFO kind of thing. So, I mean, you can see most citizens do not know about this because of the top secret status. At the same time, Mikhail unwittingly revealed a little-known fact about the existence of a special program of the USSR called Setka, or Sitka, depending on how you pronounce it. I'm not sure how they do it in Russian, which studied UFOs. Most citizens, and like I said, just read that. The secrecy of the program was explained by the fact that the topic of the study of anomalous phenomenon was considered from the point of view of their impact on the Army and the work of the military equipment. The impetus for the creation of a special program for the study of UFOs was so-called Petrozovsky, whatever it's called, phenomenon in September of 1977, when the huge object similar to a jellyfish has been in the sky over, and of course it's the actual area in Russia. But you can see this. So it's not a secret, right? People have known about this for years, folks. They're just keeping it suppressed, and that you and I would not figure this out, because we're all idiots, right? Now, somebody had asked me about going on this site, and I don't mean, they said, would you mind if we put your name up on the site? And it's supposed to be a site for, not this particular site, I'll show you in a second, where they're saying that it's like a one-stop shop kind of thing. So if you want to just have your name on this thing as far as your site, you can do that. And what will happen is, so people can go there and just click on all of these. You'll see this right here. It's called truthnuke.com. And you can see, you can go all the way down to the bottom here, and it's got Coast to Coast on here, Awake Canada, All Fired Up for Freedom, all kinds of these different sites. You just click on any one of them. So it's kind of a cool site. Yeah, I mean, the person, if they're still here, yeah, by all means do it. I don't have a problem with that. Raging Dissident. Oh, yeah, okay. Essentially Antarctica. You see it right there. InfoWars, Rebel. I mean, there's a lot of cool sites on here. So, like I said, somebody had asked me, I think it was right after the last feed, live feed we did, and said, would you mind if I put your name in? No, by all means, go for it. You know, the thing is, I like the idea of the one-stop shop thing. So if you're on there, you can just go to any one you like, and it's pretty cool. Put that over there. So it's like a one-stop shop. You don't have to have 15,000 tabs or bookmarks, right? Jerry Lahane, you said I have to pass it on to my drummer DJ buddy on radio. Okay. Not sure entirely what that means. Yeah, there you go, Ricardo. I was thinking the very same thing. He said the mushroom-shaped UFO looked like a sprite, a form of electrical phenomenon. TNT 87, 1998, you said, yeah, no more clot shot. That's another thing women were going through, right? At least most women were. Well, most of them were. Oh, okay. Ricardo, you said pronounce Kamienko. Kamienko. Okay. Well, you see, I'm not Russian. I don't speak a lick of it. Mimi, and water is wet. No. Somebody was just talking about that, Kalkin Kelly. He said, hey, Chris, have you looked up the object on Starbuck Island on Google Maps? Somebody was just mentioning that to me just recently. No, I haven't, to be truthful with you, but I need to. Somebody just mentioned that about a day or two ago. Yeah, Sarah, music. I'm not sure. You said, what do you make of the Omicron Borealis? I'm not even sure, to be truthful. I mean, I understand the Omicron, and I understand, I guess it's supposed to be Corona. Borealis? Nah, that I'm not aware of. Is it just a name? Metalhead. Yeah, I mean, I think it can be done both ways, right? If you really think about it. You said if no one trusts the mitigation, we'll never get rid of this. Well, yes and no, because let's suppose the people who have no conditions, meaning once they get their vax, they get that and they're good. They're somewhat protected. Again, they're still getting it regardless of that. But let's suppose, okay, it stops it on that side. Well, then the people actually who weren't vaccinated at the time, they get COVID, they get antibodies. Wouldn't it not go away at some point? I mean, it has to at some point. But it's the people who are, like I said, this is what I find interesting. People who are vaxxed already, awesome. But then they get it again. So I'm going, okay, so the people who are getting again, you have a lot better chance of, you have a lot better immune system than you would have been with the vaccine. So now you got basically the double whammy. Again, I don't remember if you said you had it before or after. If you got the shots before or after the COVID. So if you had it after it, you should have, my reaction would have been, are you serious right now? And I would have been pissed off. Now, if I got it prior to it and said, okay, I need to get it. Now, my doctor was asking me, he says, oh, you're going to get the shot? I said, well, I'm not supposed to be able to get it until, I think it was like, I think you had to wait like a couple months before you could get it. I forget what it was at the time. And then the more I read up on it, it said the worst thing you can do is get that shot if you've gotten it. You already have immune system to block that. So in other words, if I get it again, which it's feasible, like anybody else can, if I get it again, then okay, then my body will fight it off, and I'll build a stronger immune system. So in a sense, and this is the UK saying this is not me. They said everybody should get this. We'll end up with this virus. They'll all get it, and then we can reach herd immunity. What's that tell you? So in other words, they're hoping that everybody gets it. They'll get their immune system will be built up. This thing can just die off. They only have I think it's 6 to 9 months survival rate. So if everybody gets it and gets over it, and then the body fights it again, it just dies off. There's no way around it. It just dies off. But you notice how they introduced another one. Well, now we got the Delta strain. Well, that'll die off within 6 to 9 months. Oh, wait a minute. Now we get the Omicron. Where does it end? And of course, the Omicron was supposed to have different, different strains built into it or whatever. But they haven't heard anything that was bad about it. Again, it'll die off as well. So I don't know. I guess it depends on how you look at it. Again, I think it's great that everybody gets it. As far as the shot, it's just not for me. And like I said, I've been around people who had COVID just recently. Fine. So if I get it again, it'd be very minimal. Like they tell you when you get the shot, what happens? Well, if you get the shot, what's going to happen is you'll get it, but you won't be as bad. Wait a minute. You weren't supposed to get it at all. And you weren't supposed to get this, So, I don't know. Dean Brazil, what's going on? He said, hi, Chris. Hope you're well. I'm doing well, Dean. I hope you're doing good. That thing just jumped on me again. Crap. Let me go all the way down here. Let me see. John Schaub, your question was, how long does it take your smell to come back? Honestly, I never had that issue. I never had any problem with taste or smell. My wife did, and she had it very mild. It took her about 2 months. No, actually, it was a little longer than that. Because she's now fully got it back. Let me see. She had it right around the same time I did, which is really unfortunate, but I think, yeah, she probably had it. I'll bet it was about good 2 to 3 months. About 2 to 3 months. And she had that issue and she was fine. Metalhead, you said the problem is people are dying from this. I have no argument with that. I don't. And, but again, we're talking about people who are getting the shots and some of them are dying from it. We're getting people that are unvaccinated getting it and dying from it. Again, like I said, I just talked to a guy today and he said, in fact, oh, where was he from? He's actually from a big company around here, now that I think about it, when he said it. He said he's got to get lung transplants now because of what he had. I said, excuse me, I said, what did he have? He said he had double pneumonia. I said, well, that's what I had. It all depends on your body itself, right? Now, I always tell people, if you're having problems like breathing after that or any of that sort, work out. Get your body back in rhythm. Work your lungs out. Work the stuff. You'll feel a lot better for it. Trust me on that. But you know, and it's a shame that people are, to be honest with you, Metalhead. And I totally agree with you. It's not a joke. This is not a laughing matter. But neither is what's going on with the vax. You know, like I said, there's people now in ICU locally here because they've gotten not only the 2, but they got the actual, they've got the other one. They got the 3rd one. They're in the ICU right now. So what do you tell those people? That's what I'm saying, man. It's just weird on both sides of the fence. There's issues on both sides. So what do people trust? I mean, who do you trust? Lee Herring, what's going on? You say, hey, Chris and everybody, the shadow following the Mars drone was freaky. Yeah. And I think that's something flying in the air, to be honest with you. I don't think it's some kind of blurring or space dust or some crap. You know, people are saying, oh, that's probably like dust. So let me get this right. It's just one particle of dust. That's it. So I get the idea of the helicopter being in the air, right? I think it has to fly high enough in order to not get that stuff into the camera, because obviously it's there to take photos, right? It's looking directly down. So my argument is that if you're flying, you want to have a little bit of kickback into the camera. So you want to stay up as high as you can. Okay, so if you're kicking up dust, why isn't there a whole bunch of those black, you know, blobs running around if that's the case? If it's just flying around and you don't see that, just the one. And that thing to me is much higher than that than the helicopter is, because it's more blurred out. Again, pull that helicopter back, bring it way up. That shadow won't be as defined. It won't be as sharp. It'll actually get just like that other one you see. It'll get blurrier and blurrier and bigger, and then it won't be as defined. That tells me that damn thing is above that helicopter. It's not below it. It's above it. Renee V said, I am now three weeks sick, 2 weeks ago. Taste and smell gone now, but feel much better. Not just better now, just a sip of Coke, start to taste something. Oh, there you go. That works. Frank Miklos, you said the first time I had COVID, we'll call it that, I lost taste for 2 to 3 weeks. The second time I don't lose taste. Well, that's good. Hope Ellie said a long time ago people didn't get vaccine and they would live long lives. I believe that the earth provides our bodies with everything we need to fight off virus, hunger, shelter, water, if things but yeah, I mean, to me, it's like, I've heard this before. This is kind of sad. I wouldn't do this. I wouldn't say this. But they said, well, it's to get rid of the weak. I guess in nature, I mean, yeah, that would apply, but meaning, you know, if there's people like super old and they get it and they die, I don't think I'd want to see somebody die at all. But I mean, like they always say, that only the strong survives. So now, again, I don't want to see anybody die from this, but it's like it happens every year, even with flu shots. Forget about corona. Forget about that garbage. This is going to happen no matter what. And this is a lot of times it's from the elderly. We're talking like 70 and up and so on and so forth. And even, lesser age than that. So, and it depends on who you are. Now, again, I know people, my doctor told me himself, listen, most people that have what you had, they're in here at least 3 months. You were in here for 9 days. So what's that tell you? It's like, well, I told him, I said, well, he says, well, I know you're, what do you call it, historian, because, he's my normal doctor. And he told me right out, he says, well, I know that you're active, you do this, that, and the other, vitamins, this, that, and the other. And he said, that's probably what was your saving grace. Between being healthy, working a lot, I jog, even here, it's like, I'm getting back up to where I used to be. So it's a good thing. So it's about staying strong, support your immune system. If you want to do anything, support your immune system. Vitamin C, vitamin D3. There's so many things you could do to boost your immune system. And, if you feel that you should stay away from people like big groups, you should. Whether you get the shot or not, it makes no difference at this point. Just stay away from big groups. I know it's hard right around now because being so close to Christmas, but it's not the point. It's like, still try to stay away from people, go at certain times where there's less people, so on and so forth. I think, like I said, I don't want to see anybody die from this. I want to see everybody safe. I tell my wife the same thing. She goes in there, she wears a double mask. She don't care. She says it's hard to breathe in it, but yeah, I said, honey, I'm going to be honest with you, it ain't going to work. But if it helps you, maybe in actuality, 10 to 20%, wear it. Stay the hell away from people. Thankfully, she works in the back room where she doesn't have to worry about it, but people go in and out of there. But it's not like you're in the middle of a Walmart on a weekend, right? So, yeah. What's going on there, Mr. Bush Corey? Good to see you in there. Oh, okay, I see what you mean. Yeah, I didn't even hear about that, Sarah, to be honest with you. Omicron Coronae Borealis is a constellation, Chris. My question is, see, maybe I had a different name, and maybe that's why I didn't recognize it. I don't know. But you said, my question is, are they just choosing random names, or is there a purpose? I don't know. That's a great question. I don't know, Sarah, to be truthful with you. But, like I said, I mean, well, it's kind of like what they do on Moon and Mars, and on Mars, right? They give like these names for craters and stuff like that are like either A, people here on Earth, or B, of something of, of nature or something like that. Just come up with these weird, bizarre names. I don't know. Truthful, I don't know. Goat Hard says, I made it. Yes, you did. Jonathan Waddell's in there too. What's going on, Jonathan? Hope you folks are fine. Now let's see. It'd be funny if they took the copter in its claws and flew off with it, even if we were able to break free. Yeah, Robert, you said that. That was pretty funny. I don't know. That's weird. And that would be freaky, wouldn't it? I don't know. It's almost like somebody had said this in great observation in the comment section. They said, what I noticed was it as the shadow has less intensity in certain parts of those photos. Like it's a little lighter here, a little darker over there. What I noticed is, look at the corners of that photo. It looks darker. Almost like there's a light shining down from the actual helicopter on like a dusk or dawn kind of moment. And you can see this thing, it's like darker on the edges. I'm like, what is going on there? So I'm not sure what the deal is with that, but you notice it does change intensity. Like the thing's either going higher from the helicopter and lower down towards it. Like it's coming down, it's swooping, it's flying around it, and it's coming down. Watch it again. You'll see what, in fact, I can show you. I got the video even queued up. Really, really weird. Bush Corey said, hi, Chris. Hope you're well, matey. Hello, gang. Hope you're all well and safe. I am, Bush Corey. Hope you're doing well as well. We're just talking about just everything about A to Z right now. Recently released CIA and NSA documents reveal that the various military and civilian pilots were sickened, disappeared, or died as a result of close encounter with a UFO. Now, these people were talking about how, you can see how, he said, I wonder if there are hostile ETs and ones who might be so with us humans, might not be so with us humans. I don't know. I guess I don't know. I've never heard, like, people are talking about how, like in Fire in the Sky, right? Where it's probed and checked out and everything else, right? Whether that's absolutely true with other people as well, I don't know. I would have thought that people are that mean, meaning aliens, if they're that, like, monstrous kind of thing, you'd think they would have just done away with this a long time ago. Now, is it possible that they're using, like, you know, like using like parts like from women, like reproductive, to like support their race? Maybe they're using them as like to have children with or whatever. I mean, sounds goofy as heck, but is it out of the realm of questions? No. I don't know. And maybe that's why they're not literally killing us off. But and some people will say, well, they're taking like they're basically having hybrids, right? Human/alien, to better strengthen the human race, or their race rather, to help their, because they're dying or whatever. I don't know if I believe any of that crap. The only thing, and like I said, I don't believe in this because this. I said this before. I don't believe that they're hostile in any way, shape, or form, because they would have done this in a long time ago, especially long before our technology, we evolved into technological status like we are today. I think they would have done away with this a long time ago, and that's why I don't believe that. That's just me, though. You guys can tell me what you think. Go to how you said, hello, Chris and community. A late salute to everyone. Go, I'm glad you're here, man. Good to see you in there. James Cragen, what's happening? Hi, Chris and everyone tonight. Late, but ready to rock. All right, James. Good to see you in there, man. And some people you just go, yeah, I haven't seen this person yet. I wonder what's going on. Oh, yeah, no, Metalhead, you make a great point. So my point is I didn't have to go to the hospital after getting COVID. You're right. But let me ask you a question. I don't know how old you are, how healthy you are. Let's suppose, for argument's sake, you never got the jab. So I'm assuming you got the jab before you got COVID. So not only did you get COVID, but you said, well, I'm fine. I didn't have to go to the hospital. Okay. But let's suppose for a moment you're just like my wife was, my son was. You caught a mild case of it, and you build up immunity. You wouldn't have hit the hospital anyway. So that's my whole point, you know, and it's got to do with a lot of people who are, could be like weak, physically or stronger. You know, you might have gotten it and been perfectly fine. Maybe you wouldn't have. So that, again, it was your choice to do what you did. And like I said, I'm not mocking you for it. I think it's something you should do. You have a choice. Just like people have a choice not to get it. Again, I know a lot of people who haven't gotten the shot, never got COVID, and now they may be asymptomatic. I don't know. But again, I don't speak for everybody. I say, listen, if you think you should get it, you should run out and get it today. You know, if you feel, one, I want to make sure I'm safe. Two, I want to make sure my family's safe. By all means, I do not tell you not to get it. You should absolutely get this. You know, just like I said, I know a lot of people said, listen, I was prepared to get this. Literally going to go down. And they went to get it. At the time, they were doing the, you had to pick where you wanted to go, and you could actually have a pick of whatever vax you wanted, right? So, you know, you had to actually make an appointment. So they were like, after reading about this themselves, and I'm not talking about people talking about it, I'm talking about actually reading up on it themselves. They said, no. And now they're saying, I'm so glad that I didn't. Now, that doesn't mean people who have gotten it is wrong. But again, if you just got it after you got the shots, did you not get pissed off? Did you not think that was just BS? I mean, I would have been like, what? Okay, so right off the bat. So I'm going to tell you point blank. Metalhead, you said doctors say I'm younger for my age. And so ain't I. Okay? And you probably would have had no problem getting through that at all. But what probably scared you is everybody around you or people you knew were dying. We had friends that died. So I get you. I feel you. I'm just saying that you probably would have went through it. You would have had you would have had to been confined for like a week or two, 14 days, whatever it is, 10 to 14 days. You would have got over it. You would have been fine, built up the antibodies, and you'd be ready to rock and roll. You'd be better protected than anybody else who's got the vaccine. That's a fact. Look it up. So if you're in that good a shape, you would have gotten over it with probably minimal, if any, and been fine. Phil C., I have to tell y'all, there is no way, no amount of money, not even a beautiful woman could get me to go to Mars to stay. Beautiful women might get me to go for a few debts, though. Well, I mean, it depends on your situation, too. In other words, you got family and friends, you have, well, at least a close family, so on and so forth. Are you single? Would you take the shot then? My wife asked me that. Would you actually go? I said, absolutely. They're in a New York second. Let's go. Reggie 6, what's going on? He said, chemical warfare on another level, distribution and through technology. Yeah, I mean, to me, it's just like it's a crapshoot, right? You just don't know. Williams 1000 said, I hope you see this. Lambert crater on the moon, Google Earth, latitude, okay. Okay, longitudinal. You have to check that out. Somebody else had mentioned that too, the Lambert crater. I think that's what they said. Hope L, you said, Chris, I've been following you for a while. I love your live chats because you never make anyone feel bad about their beliefs. You seem like a very open person and you like to learn new things, I feel. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. There's a lot of things, if we sat down right now and it's just one-on-one, I would tell you my dislikes and stuff like that. However, I would not dog somebody else for doing it themselves. In other words, I'd say, listen, I don't approve. It's not me. I wouldn't do it. That doesn't mean I would say, just because I don't do it, you guys shouldn't do it either. No, 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 no. That's how you get people killed. You know, what you say is, listen, you do what you want with yourself. I mean, it's ultimately you're your own, you know, basically watchdog, right? So you're your best advocate. So you do you. That's pretty much what it comes down to. I'm not going to tell anybody that they should do it or should not. I personally, that's just me. Like other people have voiced their opinions here. I wouldn't do it. Or yes, I've got mine. Nothing wrong with that. I'm not here to judge. I'm here to say, listen, I'm just telling you my views. You know, people can piss on them or they can listen to them. That's totally up to them. I don't, you know, I'm not here to control anybody, right? But I appreciate you saying that, Hope. You know, it's like I believe in being open-minded, even if I don't agree with it. And I don't mean like strictly don't agree with it. I'd be like, kind of discouraging about that situation. But I'm willing to learn. I'm willing to, you know, it's like kind of like a religion thing. I've done research about it a long time ago with the Sumerians, the Egyptians, the Bible, so on and so forth. Done all of that. And I came to my own conclusion. And this is the way I live my life. Now, some people say, listen, this is the way I live. Not a problem. I don't have a problem with it. As long as you don't push it on me and I don't push it on you. Because you would find that disrespectful if I try to push my views on you, saying, listen, I think you're going about it the wrong way. You should do it the way I do it. What? I would expect the middle finger. I mean, let's be truthful. You know, nobody has a right to push anything on anybody. You have the right to do you. And that's pretty much it, right? So that's just the way I feel. I've always felt that way. Toe hands, you said maybe the medium around the UFO is more deadly than our radioactive when we counter with human. Like super effective. Well, that could be. That could very well be. Matthew Luce, you said, Chris, could you comment on those new AI gigapans that are seemingly become more difficult to discern between what's real and what's not? Yeah, it's crap. If you go back to Curiosity, okay, just before Perseverance came out, so they're up to what, 260 or 270 sols now, somewhere on there? 268, 270, whatever it is, sols on Perseverance. Well, go back that far back where Curiosity is at right now, go back, you'll see a defined line. In fact, I did a video on this. I don't remember what it's called now, where you've seen, like, it was natural ground, folks. It was literally natural ground, but they manipulated the rocks and stuff. Now it's completely AI. I said, guys, and people were saying, oh, I can't wait because the Perseverance is going to show the real deal. And I said, don't bank on it. See this, what do you call it right now? This AI, this manipulation they're doing now, it's different. It's not going to change. And sure in the heck it did not. It stayed the same thing. Complete garbage. It's a new AI, some software that they're doing. It's totally changed even earlier on, like last year. It's before even last year. I think it was like 19. It was like 19. It was like 2019. So it was literally, they were messing with the photos then. They changed over a new software because you can see the difference. You know, you can go back to like SAW 172. Pick anyone early like that in Curiosity. Look at the way those photos look and look at the way the new ones look in Curiosity and as well as the Perseverance. Tell me there's not a difference in ground texture. Completely different. Completely. Now, don't get me wrong. There is some real photos that show some really good detail. You can see it's ground itself. But you can see a lot more, especially the gigapans, a complete trash, right? Oh, my God. But, yeah, I mean... they've totally changed what they look like now. And it is hard to discern some of the natural stuff, but look closely. In fact, I got a gigapan here we'll look at. I think it's from 282. I'll give you guys this page as well. CIA and NASA documents reveal UFOs cause sickness and death to pilots. Recently released CIA and NSA documents reveal that various military and civilian pilots were sickened, disappeared, or died as a result of a close encounter with a UFO. And of course, it's showing here's a summary of some cases, and here it is right here. Okay, so you can actually check them out. And it doesn't surprise me because, like we were just saying, somebody had commented earlier about radiation around these crafts, or maybe it's something to do with something else with their propulsion. We don't know, and it adversely just affects the body. That's all. NASA receives special cosmic delivery of asteroid sample from Japan. Remember this? They went to this rock. Remember? Just as fossils hold clues to the history of life, asteroids hold clues to the history of the solar system. Rare samples collected from the surface of the asteroid by NASA and its international partners are helping decipher these clues, which is basically the ESA or ESA. Or now, I think this is a JAXA. I'm sorry. Now, scientists in the Astromaterials Research and Exploration Science, or ARIS, division at NASA's Johnson Space Center in Houston are among those able to study samples retrieved by the Japan Aerospace Exploratory Agency, or JAXA, Hayabusa 2 spacecraft and returned to Earth in late 2020. Well, they brought back some of that sample, remember? So now they're able to actually take these and rip these apart. Now, this was on December 6th, and 6th just come out. I'll get my tongue to work, I promise. December 6th, 2021. Just recent. We're only talking 4 days ago. So now they're going to check these out. And I'm just curious what they're going to find here. They don't say, they're just saying they're just going to, the new samples, wealth of information examined for generations to come. So you can bet they've already dove into this. And there may be more literature on it now, folks, to be honest with you, right? Now, here's another thing, too. Lou Elizondo. Now, I don't think the guy's a total wanker, but when you see this, it's like, I've said this before, he's like a pawn, right? He's like a pawn for the government. So he says in this video, and I'll give you guys a link. I don't want to just play the thing over and over again because what's going to happen is I'll get a copyright strike. But it says right on there, or he says on there, he says, I wish the governments around the world would tell this stuff themselves. So basically they're saying they go through him, but he even says, I help facilitate that. So they're using him as a pawn. This is the reason why he won't give out certain information. And that makes sense. But why tease people going, hey, guess what? I've got something that's a lot better video. That's a 24-minute video. Why bother saying anything until it's time to release it? It doesn't make sense because people are going, oh, tell me more, tell me more. It's like, you know what the old-fashioned saying, cliffhanger? There you go. So it's like to keep people, he's making money even though he's just getting this information off these governments, so to speak, and he's the pawn to it. And he's the one that's basically divulging this information from our government's, government officials. And this is what it comes down to. Look at the look on his face here. That don't look good. It looks like he's constipated. But it's only like 8 minutes long. Oh, 6 minutes. I'm sorry. 6 minutes and 25 seconds. This was on 8 News, which I'm trying to remember who this was here. But he basically says that. They asked the question. I could play like a small part of it. It's like 28. You can only do it like 10 seconds at a time or you're going to get basically reamed. Let me see here.
Can you say much, what can you say about what comes next? You've dropped hints that big stuff is coming next year, 2019. Give me some.
So, yeah, this is where he answers the question. This is kind of, it's like he's just telling it like it is, where he's like, well, again, basically he's a pawn for this, and he's literally saying that I'm helping facilitate this.
Areas where people might hear some news.
Sure. So, when you say something big is coming, what does that mean? What can mean a whole bunch of things?
I like the way he does that too. He's like, well, let me just help you educate you guys, because I know you guys are probably all idiots. Like the government all thinks we are, like a bunch of mushrooms. But yeah.
From my perspective, my goal has always been being able to get the right information to the right people in the right places.
No, that doesn't look good either. He still looks like he's constipated or stoned, one of the two. But yeah, so again, we got to do this every like 10 seconds, or else we just, like I said, we don't want to get caught up in this.
That's really what it is about for me. And informing those individuals so decisions can be made, so we can really take a look at this issue.
But I mean, am I like whacked out here, or does the government already know about all this? And it's like they're making it sound like, I mean, how many times we heard like Project Paperclip and all of these other places and all of the stuff that's been leaked out all this time? Why is it suddenly, it's like, ooh, it's like we're going to have, again, I've said this before, why is it that suddenly it's Lou Elizondo to the rescue? But again, I looked at this video and I'm saying, well, maybe he is an actual pawn. And they're saying, listen, and he even says this in the video, and again, you guys will get this video. What he says in it, he says, it's like going to get a 10-course meal. Could you gobble that down in 2 bites? No. So that's what he's doing. He's basically the spoon feeding the public little bites at a time. So again, these NASA people, the governments and all this other stuff, CIA, whoever it may be, pulling strings, that they're saying, basically, we can't let this all out at one shot, so we got to basically milk it. Just give tidbits of information, slow disclosure, here you go, hand it out, here you go. And that's what it comes down to. Well, Josh D said, LOL, Chris, love you, but we think different about this man. Well, I mean, and again, like I said, I don't think, I mean, he's basically in it for the bread. That's what it comes down to, right? But if he is slowly letting the cat out of the bag, and we've said this even about these photos about Mars, the moon, and everything else, didn't we? It's like a slow disclosure, a drip disclosure, if you will. So is it possible that they're using him as a pawn, and he's basically saying that, right?
From a holistic, a collective perspective. And then have that information get to a point where now the government's doing its job and informing people, right? So it shouldn't be World According to Luis Elizondo. It shouldn't be Lou informing everybody.
Exactly. So you're saying it should be the government's on watch.
It should be those in those positions that have that authority to inform the American people, and my job is to facilitate that process. But I think...
See? So is he real on that when he says that, or is it a bunch of like, whatever? You know, to me, I'm 50-50 on the fence. Now, it's possible, again, if you're NASA or some of these, space agencies, wouldn't you rather have somebody else let this out of the bag slowly, as opposed to you saying, yeah, we pretty much lied, guys, all this time, so we're going to go ahead and just spill the whole thing. Could people handle the whole thing? You and I, everybody here, absolutely could handle the truth. No problem. Oh, give me more, give me more. You wouldn't have an issue with it. However, some people may not be just quite that easy. You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly, Ricardo. I feel the same way at times, when I see this. Like I said, I'm 50-50 on this. It's essentially verbal waterboarding of the public, pretty much. Dean Brazil, I think he's full of crap. Yep. I mean, I don't trust the guy as far as I can throw him either, right? So you try to look at it from all angles. I think it's possible that the government could actually have, because he's basically classified, or he knows his classified information, working for the government. So is it possible they're letting him let it out very slowly, or could it be somebody else they could turn to do it? I don't know. Honestly, I truly don't know.
I think in the course of doing that, we've made significant progress in certain key areas. I think we have a much better understanding of the breadth and scope that the Department of Defense has played.
Well, they've been playing the public for how many years? Suddenly, well, you know, we probably should let this out. You know why? And I've said this before. This is the reason why I kind of believe it. Now, when I say kind, there's 100% here. I'm probably about 5%, okay? I kind of believe it because, again, at some point, every space agency is going to be out there. We're going to be spacefaring. This is going to come out at some point. They just don't want it to come out prematurely. So what are they doing? They're milking it. Slow disclosure, little drip, drip, drip. Here you go. Feed the masses. Here you go. Desensitize the people slowly, and then, boom, drop the bomb. So they're just hoping that they don't do it in a big way. This is the reason why he's facilitating this. You know what I mean? Hope L, you said they tell the truth right in front of your face, but people choose to ignore it. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much right there, but they're using, like, you know, smoke and mirrors and stuff like that a lot of times, right? That's Anissa. What's going on? Hi, Chris. How are you? I'm doing good. I hope you're doing well. Hope you are doing well. Pete, you like that, huh? Chris said it looks like he's constipated. I'm sorry, but that's funny. The poor guy. Yeah, he looked like he's either doped up or something. I don't know. Renee V said, wouldn't want to miss this for any goal, Chris. Fantastic. Hangout many in every way. Best channel, Chris. You should really be proud of. Amazing. Well, I appreciate that, Renee. I do appreciate that. Oh, I know. They say, like, a lot of times, Ricardo, you said, watch his eyes, lying liar. Yeah, I mean, they always say, like, if you can't trust a person and, like, look you in the eyes and actually tell you and talk to you, then he's probably full of crap. And if he starts doing this, like, oh, God, like this nervous look around, shifty eyes kind of thing, yeah, it's not the kind of person you want to trust. Josh D, taking off. He said, bye. So bye, all. Time to get some sleep finally. Man, yeah, you got to get some sleep, man, if you're that tired. I hear you. And, of course, there's our helicopter there, which I showed in the last video. If you guys haven't checked the video, check it out. It's the latest one that was put out just before, in fact, we went on live. And I basically break this down and analyze this, and I think, to me, this is something flying around this thing. That's all there is to it. I've said that. I even dropped a link on my video I showed you about birds and insects flying in the air or something like that. There was to that effect on that video that I had made about 3 years ago. No, yeah, about 4 years ago. And yeah, check it out. Because there's a difference between when you see the Curiosity and you see what looks like an artifact. People go, oh, it's a UFO. It's not. It's actually in the camera. And then I break it down as far as these little things flying. You see like a motion blur behind them. Excuse me. You can see it like a motion blur. It's right around 6, 7 o'clock underneath this piece or this object. And then later on, there's another one flying. It's like in the 8, 9 o'clock position. And you can see it. So you know it's going off in a certain direction. One's going this way, one's going this way. Now, people say, well, that's dust. Okay, again, why is there like only 1 or 2 microns of dust? If something's kicking that up, there should be tons of it all over in front of the camera. What is it with the 2? And you can actually see a motion blur from it. What are the chances of that? Now, in all fairness, though, you have a distance, okay? Is it right up against the camera? Is it way out there? That's what we can't determine. They don't want to explain that, and they won't say a distance because they're not going to mention an object, so you don't get any kind of detailed information as far as that goes, right? So, yeah. Yeah, just a bunch of empty talk, right, Ricardo? He said he speaks a lot without telling you anything. Yep. Jonathan Waddell, this guy is a tool. He is merely a distraction. Yeah, I got to agree. It's like 99% of it. Yeah, I think it's sad. And like I said, he just jumped on the UFO bandwagon. You know, like a couple of people from these groups, these musical groups, are all jumping on board. Because why? It's a hot topic right now. And that's what it's all about. I try to determine and analyze this, like this particular photo, rip it apart, and find if there's anything is it a hoax? Is it something that's, clearly that, when you move this, when you go through the photos, I'm not sure if they got it down here. You can look down here, it says related, and you can see certain things in here. I don't know why this site is so slow, but it is. Sometimes it's fast, it depends. Of course, I am streaming too. Actually out streaming and I'm streaming. Okay, why did you do that? Let's pick this one. But, so, I mean, to me, it's just like, when you see this thing, you literally see it in like certain spots. It's not a blur because it'd be on the screen, period. Okay, there it is right there. You only see the little leg of the helicopter right there in the top right. They used to have, what do you call it here? Let me see if I can find. Okay, it's right here again. Waiting for it to come up. And, when you see it's like a blur spot, you go, oh, please stop. And because it would be on the screen, on the lens, and it doesn't matter how much the ground would change, it would stay in the same position, right? And if it was a dust particle, why would it come into the frame and then takes back off, comes back in, takes back off, comes back in? It just doesn't make sense. Dust particle's not going to do that. Once it gets whipped by these blades and throws it somewhere, that's the end of it. But yet this thing just keeps swarming around. This is the reason why I believe it's something flying. And like you said, like somebody said, if you look at this, you can see it on the right-hand side right here, and almost near the edge. It gets a deeper shadow, and then sometimes it's a lighter shadow. That's telling me it's gaining ground. It's gaining height and then coming back down as it's flying around the helicopter. That tells me, and this thing looks pretty darn big, to be honest with you. This could be, but then again, though, it is higher off the ground, so it could be about the size of the helicopter. It could be a bird. It could be something else. I don't know. It's pure speculation as far as if it's a bird or not, because we can't tell what the heck it is. Somebody else said, well, it's probably another drone. And as far as I know, somebody else said there was 2 drones that went up there with the Rover. Not that I know of. There was only the one. So that throws that theory out the window. I don't know. Phil Cox, you said, good night, all you lovely people. Take care and stay well. See you all next week. All right, Phil. Hope you have a good weekend there, you and the family, and stay safe there, right? Yeah, I mean, I think you're right to a certain degree, Hope. You said once you work with the government, they have control over you, for you forever. Well, the thing is, let's suppose you were in like a deep branch like a CIA or the DOD or whatever it may be. Even if you get out of it, you're still connected somehow, right? So that's what you're saying. So, but I don't know. At some point, I think you could become like, in other words, you can't look at some things that are classified anymore or anything like that. So depending on how long you've been out, but I'm not sure exactly how that works. But yeah, once you're in, you're like, it's like a group you never get out of, right? It's like a gang you've been jumped into. What's going on there, Third Eye Open? Good to see you in there. He said, greeting, folks. Glad to see you in there. Mars League, he said, Blink-182 is soon coming out with a new song. UAPs are cool? No way. Are they serious? Terry Kelly, he said, the man's got the puppeteer's hands up his arse. Ooh, that's uncomfortable, isn't it? Jerry Lahane, he said, I speculated that secretly a simple conventional drone popped out of the Rover first to test the waters. Well, that could be. Maybe they had more than one. We don't know, right? And somehow they screwed up and went, oh, God, the damn thing's in the picture. Because now they're just saying, oh, it's a mysterious thing. I mean, you just look at the photos, go step by step by step, and you can see that these things are, it's literally all over the damn, over these pictures. It's in the bottom, then it's on the top right, it's on the left top. It's crazy. So that tells me there's something flying around that, but it looks like it's kind of like coming down, like it's coming close to the thing and swarming away, then it's coming back. And it's like getting closer to it, then it's getting more higher from it. Then it's, you know what I mean? It's almost like something a bird would do. It did, Steve Garnham. He said, didn't the rover have a camera underneath to watch the landing? Yes. Yes, it did. Look at this, says, what is strange is all of the big moves Elon is making with his assets. Yeah, I mean, the guy's worth X amount of billions now, right? So he's got the power now to do what he's got to do. And I think it's great. I mean, he was talking about, if I can recall what he was talking about, he was literally had a bunch of the basically owners of OPEC. They were in this you know, not a studio, but it was in this giant place where he was literally talking to them. And he says, it's not so much, he says, I wouldn't cancel any fuels right now. He says, because we still need them. Everything would come to a standstill. He says, but at some point, you know, what we have right now, like the oil and stuff like that, is not finite. So, you know, he's saying that we have to have renewable because at some point we'll run out of it. So he was trying to approach it that way as opposed to saying, it's bad for you, don't use it. You know, he's not saying that. He's saying at some point we will run out of it. And then what? So you have to have a renewable energy, or at least have a balance of it, so you can offset the other. You know what I mean? So I like the way he goes about things, and I like the way he does things. Will he ever get to Mars and show us the real deal? Probably not. Only because he knows what's at stake, unless, of course, they slowly let it out more and more and more until we finally figure this out. But it'll come. It'll get there. Just hoping we're around to see it, right? Steve Garner said, how come no more photos from the underneath camera? Well, they probably figured there's no point. They're going to show you one picture of it, and that's pretty much it. Now, when they showed it, remember they had last time, they had the actual, the arm itself go under with the turret and everything, the tools and camera. They literally went underneath. You can see the container that had the helicopter itself, had that up there. Of course, that was on the rover itself. But once these guys landed, you could see it coming down. Did you see I think there were stills. They weren't an actual video, I don't think. But you can literally see it going down like this, comes down until finally, and it just blew away. But funny enough, though, it was really, really cloudy, meaning it was clouded up, so you really couldn't see while the thing was going down. So, you know what I mean? It's a bunch of crap the way they played this. And a lot of people expected so much more, right? Where's more detail? What's going on? How come we aren't seeing this? Yeah. Goat Heart, you said, is Will from What's Up in the Sky still around? He got me in touch with your channel some years ago, and I liked his work a lot. He was on there, I think it was last year, saying something about coming back. He said at one time he was just like, I don't want to go back to it. Because he's an IT guy for a company that he works with, or works for rather. And so he's making the money. He doesn't really care about that. It's not about money anyway. It's about getting the truth out. But he was just like, because I think he said he met a new girl at the time. And so all of this stuff was going on in his life. And he just said, well, he kind of put it on the back burner. But he did say he was going to come back. Now, I don't know, truthfully. But he seems to be okay at the moment. So, and I think he's still on Other Side of Midnight with, what do you call it? Richard. Not Richard, but what do you call it? Yeah, Richard. And a lot of times he'll do what do you call that? Sometimes if Richard's not in there, he'll actually take over the show, The Other Side of Midnight. And he'll do like all of these, either interview with the people they have on the show or showing photos like we had done, because we were on there like 2 or 3 days in a row, me and the UFO group. And, it's funny enough, we had major issues when we were on there. Literally, somebody crashed his server. We had all kinds of issues dropping out and everything. It's like, what is going on here? We showed like our best photos we had at the time, and some crazy finds, and all of a sudden everything started going haywire. Don't know. Hope, you said, hey Chris, have you noticed that they've been making many movies and shows about aliens? I feel like they do this to get people used to aliens, and when the day comes, they show themselves, people won't be as, I think you're going to say, be as scared or whatever, because it just runs out after that. But, because it's only like 200 characters, that's what sucks on these things. People have voiced an opinion about that. But yeah, I mean, it's almost like to get people, you know, basically acclimated to the idea. But I think people are now. But if they're going to keep on with this crap about, oh, they're here, again, this fake alien invasion, right? And I think they've already started that. Some people are like, oh, wait until they start that. I think they already started that. And to me, it just seems like, okay, so if they started it already, they're already making people scared of the whole situation. Why? What's the point? It makes no sense to me. Me personally, nah. I would rather, you know, I'd rather them come out and just tell the truth, and of course what they won't, but I mean, them come out and say, listen, you know, this was held back for a reason. We don't believe that people were, you know, their minds were set to be able to wrap their minds around the idea of other races around us, so we didn't let this out. We didn't tell the truth because of this fact. That would be telling the truth, right? So now we feel that some people can handle it, and then what they're doing is letting out little tidbits of it. That would be better than to try and lie or trying to get people slowly acclimated. Just start showing the proof. That'll get people acclimated to it, and then there won't be a big worry about it. To me, that makes more sense, but you know, can't have that. Yeah, is he still on there, Ricardo? He said, yes, Will pops up on the other side of midnight every so often. Yeah, Richard Hoagland, that's what I was trying to remember his last. I don't know why I had a blonde moment there for a moment. But he was on with them. He'd be on there to either be on the show, and if Richard wasn't on, he would actually take over for him. And so I don't know what the deal is, but I mean, I know he's okay at this moment. So, but he did say he's supposed to come back. Now, you know, whether that's going to happen or not, I don't know. Because a lot of people do that. There was a woman named Amazon KC. She was basically a friend of mine. She started doing this, which I said that was really awesome. I love to see that women are getting into this more and more. And of course, I wasn't trying to sound like I was like, oh, you know, chauvinist kind of thing. No, it's just, I love the idea of everybody getting in on this. And she did a fantastic job, and then life got in the way for her, and that was it. She just basically got off of it. And that really sucks, because it's like, you know, you want to have as many people as you can on this to bring out what they, you know, bring to the table. They're basically piece of the pie, so to speak, or the puzzle, right? That's what it comes down to. Terry Kelly said maybe it's the Martians drone watching them. Now, who knows? It seemed like I said, if you watch the shadows, it's like it's coming. It's like it gets darker shadow, lighter, darker, lighter. Like this thing is literally going. Elevation is coming up and then down, up and it's flying around. It's like, you know, what would cause it to do that? I would think if it's something that's controlled, meaning, you know, let's say there's another drone that was on the rover, then it would have its own predetermined flight plan rather, and it would come up and it would just, you know, be steady and just take off. But I don't think they would do that while this thing's in flight. So that's why I kind of threw that idea out the window, because I even thought the same thing. Maybe they had another one, and maybe they screwed up and they had this one too close to the other one. Very good possibility. But they have their own flight plan. They just like go up and they just fly, and then they hover, do whatever they got to do, and then come back down, or go back and then come back down. So I don't know why this thing is doing what it's doing. I don't think that's. It's not a blur. It's not a piece of dust. It's not any of that. At least that's the way I see it. Look at this. They're pushing. They're a threat, though. Yeah, I know. And that's what's crazy. Oh, they're flying with impunity in our military bases and everything. Okay, have they done anything to the base? Now, the only thing I can think of is they're worried about is not aliens. They're worried about if it's another country. Think about that. That to me would be the biggest worry on my list, because I would be thinking if it's another country, they're going to be able to fly in and out of our country. They can bomb us and take us out at any given time. That's what they're worried about. They're not worried about an alien. So when they come out with that crap, I don't believe them for a moment. I'd be more worried about another country bringing a spacecraft, a secret spacecraft, that could do what the Tic Tac does before I'd be worried about a UFO, meaning something that's outer worldly. What would you guys think? Would you be more worried about a UFO from out there or from here? You also asked, so you know it's the military behind this? I don't know that for sure. I can't vet that. However, I think it's another government, it's another country that's in on it, whether it's us or somebody else. I think it's from Earth. I don't think it's from out there. Because again, if it's just their way of saying hello, meaning it's from out there, and it's their way of saying hello and just kind of cruising around, but they're around the military bases, they're around military ships, they're around crafts, aircrafts, stuff like that. So it's like they're saying, hey, we're here, your stuff doesn't even compare to us, our flight and everything else. So, but I think, other aliens, if you will, other beings would be a little bit more right to the point. I mean, they'd be like, like we always talked and joked about, it's going to land right there on the White House lawn. That would be a little bit more common sense, and that would be something they would do. Why would they joke around and play games like this? Just go, land there, here we are. Or, like, transmit throughout the world and let people know that they're here. Doesn't mean they're going to be evil. Doesn't mean they're out to get us, kill everybody on the planet. It just means, we're here. We just want to let you know you guys here. We're looking over you guys, so on and so forth. This thing's just flying around. It's almost like they're teasing us, like, hey, guess what I got? You don't. So I think it's something made here on Earth. And it may very well be ours. You notice how we're the only ones talking about it? Have you heard another country? And I think I asked this the last time. Has anybody ever heard of another country saying that Tic Tac was here? No. It's almost like we're just saying, oh, I don't know what it is. It's here and it's just flying around us. And yet, nothing. Think about it. We're the only ones complaining about it. Nobody else is. Why isn't it in Russia? Why isn't it in Germany? Why isn't it? Wouldn't another country be a threat to another country besides us? Think about it. That's why I don't know. I'm just saying I think that I think it's on this planet. Somebody's made that. It could. Some people are saying it's China. Some people are saying it's the United States. Don't know. There's no way to vet into that. It will eventually come out. I can almost promise you that. Somebody will figure it out at some point. Cali, I'm sorry. So far as the government making us afraid, maybe the bad aliens are already here and they're trying to make us afraid for when the good aliens come. Well, yeah, but you'd probably welcome them more with open arms, right? I would think. Well, them anyway, not the bad ones. Scientific search for extraterrestrials. What's happening? You said besides Russia and China do not have any intention of invading USA. It is the other way around. It is Joe Biden and the Pentagon who actually want to invade China and Russia. I don't know. China's building up pretty fast and pretty well, and they seem to be more of a threat to anybody than us to anybody else. Yeah, things are going to be interesting in the next year or two. I think so. I think we're going to start to see some crazy stuff going on. Ways Easy, what's going on? Good to see you in there. Ricardo, you said, I bet Elon has been told some of the truth because they know he will discover some things that can't be kept secret. So better to feed him a narrative yeah, I mean, I'm thinking the same thing. I said, listen, first of all, he's subcontracted through probably NASA and other space agencies to deliver stuff and goods to the ISS. And he'll probably become a lot more, what's the word I want to use? Where people will be using his company a lot more. So he's got to be in the know. You can almost bet on it. He's going to Mars. He probably said, listen, if I'm going to do this with you, you need to tell me what's going on because I have a feeling that there's stuff on. Oh yeah. And so I'm sure he's privy to what's on Mars and what's going on. So they're going to have to plan out something to go, okay, so we know where all this is. So why don't we land over here? So when we do actually go with real photos, guess what? There's nothing there. We'll go with real photos, show it. Here it is. Folks, there's nothing here to see. Or they'll slowly let the cat out of the bag before that happens. I don't know. The future's going to be nuts. That'd be cool, Pat. Pat Owen, what's going on? He said, if I ever become a billionaire, I promise to tell you all the secrets billionaires learn. Yeah. Well, see, here's the thing, too, and I've said this before. What if, kind of like Elon, he decided, you know what, I'm going to send my own probe to Mars. I want to see what's up there. NASA's like, yeah, cool. Go ahead, man. He sends it up there, gets all the information he wants about it. Oh, yeah, I've got to go there. Think about it. He could do this with ease. You don't even need a large spacecraft to do that. You just need something very small, maybe the size of an SUV or something like that. Send it, go there. It's got a different drive. It's not propulsion like traditional, like a Atlas V or some, giant, basically, what do you call it? Fire stick, firecracker. But go there, check it out, go around Mars a couple times, then crash the thing. Who cares? Or he's got his own special friggin' orbiter around there. How do we know? He could be just like, oh, I love the idea of this, man. I could kick back and watch like either real-time clips or photos coming to me constantly. Oh, this is great. I would be able to do it. I would if I had the money he had, of course. No doubt in my mind. No doubt in my mind. And I'm sure you guys would do it too. You'd be like, hell yeah. James Gregan, thank you again, sir, for your support. It's always appreciated. He said, Chris, let's be honest here tonight. I would love to hear anyone try to explain that we have all seen in your vids this week is a figment of our imagination. Oh yeah, there's no doubt. But like I said, I don't know if that was, it was Facebook. Now that I think about it, it was Facebook. And somebody had posted a video that somebody else had pretty much posted the same one I just showed you guys. And like I said, I got that from iGo Pro or something like that, I think it's called. And of course, he gets full credit because he's the one, that's where I got the video from. And, but they were like, oh yeah, it's fake, or, who's taking the picture, like I said earlier. I'm going, wow, people do not look into this stuff. They just automatically assume that it's all fake. It's like, look into this stuff. It's not, I promise you. D. Tubbin said, hello, Chris, and everyone. What's going on? What's going on, D? What's up? Tim Houston, you said, I just don't understand how Stephen Hawking can be diagnosed with motor neuron disease. Hold on, this thing's jumping on me here. So wasn't this. Let me get that back to normal. Neuron disease in the 60s and died peacefully a few years ago, some 50 years later. MND is a killer with no cure. Yeah, I know, it's amazing how he's like that, right? I mean, the guy was like just awesome, right? But yeah, he lived that freaking long. I remember seeing photos when he was younger, right? And they said he probably wouldn't make it past of, I don't think it was even 15 or 20 years old. Yeah, it was just crazy, right? Ways Easy said, last comment, and happy holidays. People watching 24/7 could not have not seen it. Curious on lies, feeble excuse, people could panic. They could. But I think, like I said, I think if you're talking about the telling people about aliens and stuff like that, I think that it can be done, desensitized. You can hit people with all areas, right? You got China saying, "Oh, look at this little cube type thing." Ooh, it's got people's attention. You can put something on there. Oh, look, this other obstacle or this object looks like something that's very similar to what we have here on Earth. Maybe it'd just be a bone or some kind of weird object that looks very similar to it, and then get into it more and more and say, oh, now we've actually drove around and went up and down this huge hill and went back down, and we found what looks like some kind of thing that maybe was intelligently made. So in other words, start coming out with it more and more. Do that on the moon, do that on Mars, do that. That's what they should do. So this way it gets people more sped up and more, acclimated to what's going on. And then it'd be a lot easier on these, like the Pentagon, DOD, all of these people and all these other higher ups, if you will, around the world. It'd make things a lot easier. Because I'm going to tell you right now, at some point, it's going to get to the point where some of these countries will war with each other, maybe through what's on the moon or whatever, and they're warring for things like mining. Oh, that's my spot. Suddenly we got this big problem. Well, you don't know if the other one's going to rat the other one out. So at some point, I think they're afraid that something's going to slip out. And it's just going to just come down hard. Boom. And people are going to be pissed. And you can't blame them, right? Hi, Zoe girl, what's happening? You said just dropping in. Would you explain again the China pics? When was it taken, and is there any other pics to compare to get a timeline? Was it built in the last few years or billions of years ago? Truthfully, I don't know as far as how long it's been built. There's things that are there. It's not just China. It's NASA's noticed that they've been there since the Apollo missions, where there's things all over the grounds, meaning all over the lunar surface. These things that look like mountains and buttes or whatever they want to call them on the moon is actually disguised objects that are sitting there, and I've seen this many a times. It's just crazy how much stuff is really there. And what they showed you is that little cube. It's almost like, like we were talking about earlier, like it was done purposely so you can focus in on that. And then what you can see is you can see this manipulation when it's not that far away. Like I explained in the video, it's not like you can walk over to that box and, I'll just pick that up. That's not what it is. It's literally part of something much larger. In fact, I think somebody even said that. They said, what happened to the cube? It's like I explained that in there. It's literally part of something much larger. It is not just a cube. It's all of that in where I bring out those anomalies. All of that area is totally just like put over to make it look like a distance away, and it's not. It's literally right there. These objects are a lot closer to the rover than they make it sound. I think they said it was like 268 feet away from the rover. I think that's what it was. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong. But that's what they said, and I'm like, what? So yeah, I thought that was kind of weird how they pointed that out so people can look at it, right? Taken. That was just recently, and I think I explained that in a video where he said, when was it taken, and is there any other pics to compare to get a timeline? I think there's actually a date or somewhere. It's just recent. This was just recent. It was taken. This wasn't like years ago. And again, they're closer to the South Pole, if I'm not mistaken. So they're seeing things, and keep in mind they're on the other side of the moon, right? So a lot of people say, I'm not there, I can't tell you, but a lot of people say it would make more sense to have bases on the moon on the other side of the moon that we never see, because obviously you never see it. So, but Apollo was there for a recon mission. This was not to go, let me collect some lunar dust and some rocks. That's not why they were there. They were there for a simple reason, and that was to collect what was found on there. And you notice how they went right to these areas, went down there. Like I said, they could have went, okay, here's a briefcase of rocks and dust. Here you go. But the other one was left in the back where they probably took off parts. Maybe they could saw off some metal or whatever they needed so they could bring that back with them, see what these things are made out of, take a ton of photos. How much room does a film take? You know what I mean? So it's not like that's heavy. You can get it, you can take off, and put it in some kind of lead box to stop any kind of, radiation from the sun or any of that sort hitting these things. So you can literally take photos of everything that's on the surface that they were there to actually check out and bring it back. And of course, how many missions do we have? Think about it. So I think we had 7 in all, and we had to keep going back to look for rocks and dust. Okay. Well, it might have been from another part of the galaxy, so we needed to see that particular rock and that dust. So let me get this right. So you're willing to set up, if I was an astronaut ready to go in 1969, and they said, oh, by the way, would you like to go up there? For what? We're going to check out some rocks and some dust, but you could get killed on the way up. Some rocks and dust. And why is that important? Maybe it was. Maybe it was part of that too. But still, that's not the main reason why you're going to go. They're going to say, they're going to brief you on this. They're going to say, this is what we found. Do you want to go? Hell yeah, I want to go. I mean, I'm willing to chance it. And that's what I do. It had to be something that these people wanted to go up and see. And like I said, when these guys come back like Buzz, and when they all came back from the Apollo 11, these guys were like totally zombified. Like they just didn't even want to bother with their press conference. They didn't want any part of that for a reason. They had so much on their mind. How do you wrap your mind around that? How do you do that? There's so much there, man. It's just crazy. These come back, like I said, people come back like their life is about to end. They're like, oh my God, So what do you guys think about the stars? You see any stars? I didn't see any stars. Did you? I didn't see any either. I mean, how do you not see stars unless you were focused on something that totally would have taken your mind off what's really, like the stars? It would take your mind off. It had to have been something that you were like focused on and like at awe. You wouldn't recognize anything else. You're going to focus on that. Pat Owen, you said, I thought India had something on the moon or Mars. They do. They have an orbiter. It's a mom orbiter, they call it. And it's Mars something. I forget. It was an acronym, but I forget exactly what it stood for. So, yeah, they've got spacecraft up there as well. They've taken photos and stuff like that from India. And, of course, those are bogus, too, because I've actually done a video about that, where Mars up close looks a lot like Earth. It's got the greens, the blues, the browns. You can see there's an atmosphere. And so on and so forth. And this is without changing. It had that little icon, China, I think it was CNSA, and you could see like the little icon they had in the bottom. That didn't change color, but the moon, Earth, I'll get it right. Mars actually changed because we're thinking of the moon. So after I did like an auto color and auto tone and stuff like that, in in Photoshop, it totally changed, folks. And all I do is then just darkened it after to get the colors a little deeper. Other than that, I didn't do a thing to that. And yet that little icon, it was like bluish and orange. And that stayed the same, but Mars totally changed. You know what I mean? If they both changed, I'd say, well, it's artificial colors. But the colors never really changed. But Mars did. So yeah, they literally know what's going on. Max K said, look at this. I think you're talking actual look at this. Elon gets emotional when he's being interviewed, shows he's worried, and it spurs him on for the sake of his children. Well, the thing is, I mean, how many times, what country was it they were talking about? It's like a third world country where they didn't have much of anything, right? And he literally started crying because he said, these people have no electricity. They have nothing. No internet, no water. I mean, they barely got water. And he says, it's sad that these people have to live like this. And he literally started tearing up. And it's like, so he genuinely cares about what's going on. And he just believes that, he even said this, he says, I think we should be spacefaring. I think we should have a civilization on Mars because at some point, this planet will end. He's basically saying it could be not too long from now. It could be a long time ago, a long time in the future. He's saying like the sun at some point, it'll be like millions of years, but it's basically going to swallow up Earth and it's going to become too hot. But as it expands, as it's dying basically, as it expands, you're going to have to move to Mars anyway. It's going to get too hot on the Earth. So you're going to have to bounce. But then at that point, once you get a civilization there, you're hoping to be other places, not just a solar system, right? So it's crazy. I mean, I think he's genuine, and I think he's definitely wants to do this. He wants to have civilizations in both planets. But did that happen long thousands of years ago? Daddy Musk, there you go. Sean Bradley said, in Stanley Kubrick's Space Odyssey 2001, NASA excavated the moon looking for something emitting a signal. Oh yeah, okay. And it doesn't sound too far-fetched now. Yeah, I mean, when you, again, when you stop and look at some of the things I found on the moon itself, these guys were literally, I've got one where you can see the astronaut next to the lunar buggy, and there's literally, you can see the, well, these wannabe hills in the background. Well, once you bring back the lines that are really in the photo, you can see objects all around this. You can see him standing, and these objects are all around him. Funny enough, they're not under him. So in other words, it's not a fake photo. It's literally he's standing here, and there's a bunch of stuff all lined up around him. Like he's going there to check these things out. Whether it's a ton and a half of photos, whether it's, you know, to get samples of these objects, whether it be stone, metals, whatever it may be, they're there for a reason. And they went there, 7 missions to the moon. To do what? Again, if you're thinking about rocks and stones and dust, really? I don't think that's the reason. That might have been a PR part of it, and that's why they did it, but not because that's not what their main goal was, and that wasn't the main mission. I don't think so. Not judging by what we've seen in the photos anyway. Nick Savage, what's going on? He said one Apollo mission, an astronaut accidentally pointed the camera at the sun and disabled it. Had no more. We had no more live pics that mission. They did that on purpose to hide activity. Remember? I remember seeing something like that. What was the other one too? Remember they were doing that live, and then they had Walter Cronkite. Oh, Cronkite. Where they had him on there, and he was saying, "Oh wow, look at that like block or that big square or whatever it was on there. That looks like it's intelligently made." All of a sudden, they just cut it. They just cut him right off. They boom, done. And I was like, and I remember that video. If you watch that, you could literally see it on the right-hand side. It's white. It's like really whitened out. I'm going, wow, that is bizarre. It wasn't ours, folks. Somebody else's. Whose is it? That's the whole point. Renee said, yes, and sabotaged and directed by NASA, the India space program. Well, I mean, I don't blame any country in particular. I blame all of them as a whole. They're all working together. This is a fact. So they're all bedfellows. They're all working together. And I mean the higher-ups. Like I said, you can have ESA, India, doesn't matter who it is, NASA. All of these people that work there are doing their job as expected. In other words, they're just there to do their job. And then there's the higher parts to that. There's, like I said, the black ops or elites, call them what you will, and they're all working together. Is it good for all mankind? Maybe, maybe not. Because think about it, is it in our best interest if we go to the moon or Mars and find a power supply that's endless? So it would actually help us in the future to actually do this. Would it help our propulsion and fueling rockets with this endless energy source? Of course. So I get the idea that they want to get up there and get this, but again, you could give it to the public too, because wouldn't they get a lot more funding? Of course, I think they just steal the money now from their, basically their, this is the reason why you got a huge deficit, right? We don't know what happened to that $4 trillion. It just disappeared. I think it was early. He's out buying candy again. But anyway, so to me, it just seems like they would get more funding, or at least more backing from the public, and the people would be in the know. It just makes more sense to me. I'm going to jump all the way down here. Oh, it's cool. Appreciate that, Long Island, New York. Say, order a Mars Anomalies mug. It should arrive any day. That's cool. Appreciate that. I do appreciate it. Well, Hope L, you said, I feel like there might be a hologram to block us from seeing what's really on the moon. They can't control people who have high-end telescope. Well, I think, you know, unless you work in an observatory, even a small observatory, the chances of seeing something that close is almost impossible. I know there's some people on there that claim they can do that, but they can't. And they're never going to get as close as the LROC, which is 75 miles off the lunar surface. There's no atmospheric distortion because you're looking at if you're here on Earth looking at the moon, you get atmospheric distortion, the distance alone, and it's just like almost impossible. We've seen things on the moon that is absolutely insane from the Apollo missions, when they're ascending back to the capsule or the orbiter. Yeah, it's basically the capsule. So you've got these weird looking structures everywhere. I've had videos just recently, not long ago, where I even posted on here, just crazy looking objects on the moon. Somebody'd have to be like extremely lucky, and there's not really a telescope unless it's really large. And I'm not talking about like an 11 and 14-inch telescope. I'm talking about something really large, at least, and no smaller than something that's, you know, at least 30 or you know, above, way above, that you're going to get there. And even then, you're going to have this distortion. I've seen people where they do videos where they do a video and then they zoom into that video. It's like, but you don't know if you're seeing artifacts in that. That's what's crazy. And I'm not saying that's what it is, but you just don't know, right? So that's why I do the, I'm thinking about getting another telescope. I had one. It was a very small one. It's only like a 6-inch, which is not, it's okay, especially if you've got a good sized Barlow and everything else, but it's a toy compared to like some of these bigger ones. You know, as a friend of mine that works in an observatory, I'm like, hey, really, do you? Really now? That would be cool. To get something extremely large looking at the moon, that would be cool. So, but the chances of somebody seeing something with great detail is almost impossible. Even the LRO photos are really hard to see anything, and this thing's only 75 miles off the lunar surface. Now, when you think about the Apollo missions, they're literally on the ground. So you just have to cut through all the BS and all the obfuscation and censoring that's going on, and then you can cut through it and figure out what it is. And we've done that in many photos. Throat's dry. Can't understand why. I'm just talking a lot. Yeah. Sure, they. Well, the concrete. Wait, what? Oh, the concrete. I always mess up his last name. It's all right, though. I think we all know what I meant. Walter Concrete. That's a good one. I like that. Let's see. Let me just get back to this real quick. I think the thing jumped on me here. Jerry Lahane said the moon activity must be mostly underground and the huge alien structures must be awe-inspiring. Yeah, I mean, I can't even imagine. Even if they showed me on a picture and said, look, here's high quality, here you go. Check it out. And now we go, oh my God, you guys are going down there to see it. Okay. You know, it's one thing to say that, but when you get down there, and of course they're probably learning the size of these things and everything else, and then they finally get there, you can't help but to like almost crap yourself, right? And because you're going, okay, what would scare me is not so much the size or the massiveness of these things, but the fact that they're not ours. You know what I mean? Or anybody's here on Earth. Or unless it was thousands of years ago, and we just don't remember that. And of course, like I said, we're in the 5th, going on the 6th cycle here on Earth. So 5 times it almost completely died off as far as humans, and then it basically, you know, the civilization grew again. So I don't know. It's just like, you can't even imagine just the way that would feel, just walking up to these things. Oh my God, whether it's structures or, you know, dilapidated, some kind of spacecraft laying there, because we've seen photos where it looks like spacecraft, junk laying everywhere. It wouldn't even surprise me. You know, the ancients did talk about like wars in the heavens, right, on the moon, And of course, they call Mars the warring planet, or the, stuff like that. I mean, just crazy stuff where this could actually have been possible. How do we know they're not sitting there and they're looking up at the night sky and they see like, because they did say they seen lights years ago on the moon. So how do we know they weren't warring up there at the time? And this is fact. They would, people would see lights literally flickering on the moon. This goes back years ago. So how do we know they weren't warring up there? And what they're up there to see is stuff that's wreckage. And they're up there again for another recon mission. How do we know? John Shea, what's going on? He said, hello, Chris and peeps. Hope you're all well. Back from pub. Sweet. But you just got here just when we were going to get out of here. God, not good. So let me ask you guys a question. So do you like this idea of better getting on an hour early? Now, somebody had told me last time, I said, man, don't do it at 3 because, I get out of work at 3. So I was like, okay, and I know a lot of people do. So I was like, okay, yeah, I probably shouldn't make it for 3. Let's make it for 4. And it gives people who are in the UK and maybe around the world a little bit, an hour early. So what do you guys think? Thumbs up or, what do you guys think? And by the way, don't forget to give a thumbs up. It'd be great. Oh my God, we're at 196. Let's bust that way over 200, guys. Hit that thumbs up. Hit that like button. Pow. Pat Owen, you said NASA is so sketchy. You're right about that, my friend. Fernando Garcia, what's going on? He said, hey, look at the row of 3 towers on Mars. I think I know which one you're talking about. I think I actually know. But yeah, send the link. I'll send the link. If you can't drop it here, just drop it over to the MarsAnomalies@AOL.com and I'll check it out. Like I said, I usually don't check it during the week. I'll be honest with you guys. But the weekend, I'll try to go over them real quick. And, there's a lot of things I'll get back to people on. Some things I can't because you wouldn't believe the emails I get. And some things I'll try to respond either through the video, doing a video, say, yeah, somebody had commented about this and that. And I've made videos on people's stuff at times. As long as you have the actual link to the actual photo, NASA official photo, then I can go with that. Other than that, it's like, you know how I roll, man. I got to have the link so people can check it out. If I don't, it's not official. So, Carmine Gangami, what's going on? He said, can't they scan the moon with a LiDAR technology and show very detailed resolution of the terrain? Yeah, they can, absolutely. In fact, they took radar image of the moon, and what was supposed to be just a crater, it looked like there's a city underneath inside that crater. You can look up that video. I've got it on here where it says radar image of the moon shows great details. You can look that up, and it literally looks like cities. They say, well, it looks like it could be lava tubes and that ran out. Now, don't get me wrong, there's lava tubes on the moon, so that's not like out of the question and silly. But the way this thing is laid out, there's like, you can see like what looks like these dots in a row, like they're towers. You can see like all of these like almost pathways or some kind of weird transportation tubes. You can just see, and this took place, it penetrated the ground, the lunar surface, about 33 to 50 feet below the surface. So that's cool. Now let's suppose for a moment, you go, wait a minute, wouldn't that be a lot taller? Wouldn't it stick out of the surface? I don't know. Maybe it was deeper than what they're saying. I don't know. Because you would think a tower is going to be bigger than 50 feet, right? You would have to. Maduka, what's happening? Good to see you in there, man. He said the face on Mars is real. Yes, absolutely. And I believe the one that came from the Viking orbiter is the real deal and not that piece of crap CGI that they sent. No. Swoona Kroona says tips his hat. Renee V says 195 thumbs up. Come on to 200 for humanity. Oh yeah, whack that bad boy. Send it way up. Listen, it's all about, getting more of this information out. This is what they do. This is their algorithm here on YouTube. They see a lot of interaction on these pages. They see people commenting after the live feed. This makes all the difference, folks. You can say just simple, hey, this is a great, hangout, whatever, just boom, boom, drop it real quick. They see the thumbs up. It's a lot of interaction. They like that. And that's what gets the channel noticed more. James Reagan, you said, Chris, the second video of Triton, if you pause it exactly 7:35 of the vid, you will see that you just drew an arrow pointing towards, or I'm sorry, downwards. Follow the point down a half an inch to a huge alien or skull structure. Yeah, I think you said that in the comment section, didn't you? I'm almost positive I did, and I think I looked at it, and you're right. It does actually look like that. I've had some of you guys do that. You go, hey, what do you think of this? I'm going, what are they talking about? I get on there and say, I'll be damned. I didn't even see that. And that's what's cool, you know? Folks are not just sitting there going, yeah, whatever, man. I mean, they're literally, you guys are like looking into this. That's what's cool. And you're looking at it more and more. This is the reason why I like to send the links, too, if I can. Because it gets you guys, ooh, my chair's going into another dimension. But that's what I like about you guys. You guys jump into this stuff, whether it's just a video itself or the link. This is the reason why we send them, so it's legit. And we have a deep look at these things and really rip them apart. And that's what's awesome. We get down to the bottom here. This thing just jumped on me anyway. Yeah, hello, Maduka. Good to see you in there. Anchor Point, what's going on? Good to see you in there. He said, you are right, Chris. Without a link to the site, NASA, JPL, or ESA, people won't believe. Waste of time, even if good to know for oneself. Yeah, I mean, the way I look at it is this. It's like, I've followed channels before, no link whatsoever. And I go, how do I know this is real? This is the reason why I like that Daniel other channel was on there. It's about Mars, complete bull. And I got on there and kind of, not verbally ripped him a new one. I said, you know, why are you doing this stuff? Where's the link, the actual link to this? Because you're just, it's bull, it's BS. You're spreading disinformation because they won't send a link because they know it's bogus. But yet people are watching it. And there's several channels like Joe from Art Alien had said, there's about 4 or 5, maybe 6 channels that are complete bogus now. So you got to like stay on, you know, on the right track, right? So that's basically what it comes down to. You gotta stay with the channels that you know is not gonna jerk your chain, and you're literally gonna get the link that you're supposed to get, and that's what it's all about. Because to me, that's legit. That tells me you're legit. When you get a channel that just gives you information, there's no way for you to not only not prove it, you can't prove it yourself, or you don't get a link. What's the point? It's like you're just being, you know, what's the term they used to use? Led by the nose. You're not really being told of any value. You just believe in what they tell you. It's like, no, I don't want that. I want to see a link. I want to see, you know, if somebody does work that you can't do yourself, then I don't believe it either. You know, it's like, you know, this, you know, I tell people I use Photoshop. This is what I do. And a lot of people get GIMP, Photoshop, any of that. So it's not complicated. And of course, again, you guys get the link. So it makes all the difference in the world. Ricardo said radar tomography is limited by the wavelength that is used in the size of the antenna. So the resolution is limited, but if they use SAR instead of, they can be overcome and give resolution down to, yeah, I mean, well, that's what they did. This thing had really, really good details. And I think it was actually just a radar, not LIDAR. But like you said, it's limited regardless, because look at the distance too, right? And something tells me they didn't just get that, you know, just that particular area. Because, I mean, if you're hitting it with a signal and it's coming back, you know, the whole side of that moon must have been like you penetrated the actual lunar surface. You can imagine what they've seen in there. And this is the reason probably why they're going up there. Maybe they know there's nothing up there that can harm them. And they've seen into the skin of the moon, or seen below the surface even more so. Put more power into it. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Let's see. There we go, Dion. Viglione said, made it from work, but I made it here. Made it home from work, but I made it here. Sweet. Yeah, D, you're right. You said thumbs down really means you're not interested in these types of videos, so they quit sending them to you after so many thumbs down. on a particular type of video. Yeah, to me, I mean, well, there's also people that they're just hateful, right? They just don't like the channel or whatever, and that's fine. Listen, I don't have a problem with that. You're gonna find it no matter what. Go to any channel, watch what happens. You know, I'm kind of glad they did away with this thumbs down BS anyway, because here's the thing. I think it distracts the person. Let's say it's a newcomer. It distracts the person from actually watching them themselves, and then they can make their own, you know, decision whether it's a thumbs down or thumbs up. If you do it right off the bat, what happens? People are discouraged right off the bat. If you see a bunch of rude comments in the bottom, it discourages them too, because most people would say, and I've heard this, I don't do it, but I heard a lot of people do this, they'll read the comments before they even watch the video. What's the point? That's like going to your friends and say, hey, what do you guys think about that new movie? And the movie, it sucked. Like the movie The Mist. I think I told you guys the story. My oldest daughter went and seen it, and she was going to go see it rather, and she said her friends were like, oh my God, that movie totally sucked. It was boring. It couldn't be further from the truth. We went and seen it. We loved it. It was absolutely awesome. You know why? Because they didn't understand what was really going on in that movie. So I would rather see it firsthand, even if somebody told me it wasn't the best or it kind of sucked. Or some people said, oh, that movie's great. Went to go see it myself. Absolutely sucked. So you got to say to yourself, okay, I'm going to make my own decision about this, what this person's conveying. I want to see for myself. I don't want to see thumbs down. I don't want to see people either trashing the video or you'll notice a lot of times you won't see any negative comments of mine. And I don't mean people disagreeing with me. I'm talking about trashy comments or people dogging my subs. I'm not having that. I used to have that in the past where people just let them say whatever they want. And I'm going, well, you know what? Negativity breeds negativity. It's as simple as that. So get rid of those. And I'm not talking about people having healthy debates. I don't care about that. I'm good with that. And I don't care that people disagree. They might say, Chris, I don't think that's true at all. I think it's this. All the power to you. What I have a problem with is people going, yeah, effing this, that, and the other, and stupid this, that, and the other, and go on and on and on. Or they're attacking one of my subs. In other words, they just happen to come over to the channel and decide to start attacking us. We're not having that. Nope. Off. You know, and that's just the way I've always been, because I don't think it's right. People come here because it's like-minded people. They come here because they're generally interested in the content, and they want to see it. Well, you got a bunch of these people that come over to the channel and they're dogging the people that are here, then they don't want to comment anymore. It's not right. And I'm not having it. You know, you guys have my back, I have yours. That's what it comes down to. Let me see. Nick Savage, you said the surprise is that structures and buildings are so extensive with many. Yeah, you got that right. Oh, let me see what we got here. Whitebeard Sky Daddy says smoking gun was mentioned earlier. We have enough smoking guns to win a war. Which smoking gun someone want to see? Pretty much. Terry Kelling, you said, if as you say you need a good-sized telescope to see anything on the moon, getting a Nikon 1000 would be a waste of time. Well, here's the thing. This is the way I look at it. One, a Nikon 1000, the P1000, is a whole lot less than these other big telescopes, right? And they have one heck of a digital and physical zoom, right? So that would be a good starter piece. If you wanted to get into something much larger and see much closer, yeah. But did you see the P1000? It's pretty damn good. I mean, that thing's good. And I actually thought about getting one and doing that. But I think they are like $1,000, aren't they? Now you can get the P900, not as good, where the P1000 is probably better than most telescopes at like for beginners. And I don't mean like something tiny. I mean something decent. Where I've seen that thing zoom in better than some 11-inch telescopes. So no, that would definitely be well worth it. Be worth getting. There you go. Appreciate it, Ricardo. That's awesome. He said Rotten Tomatoes rating for this channel is a 99%. The critics, 1%. Sweet. Oh yeah, absolutely. I appreciate your support, brother. Yeah, I mean, it's like, you know, you're going to have that no matter what channel you go to, right? And people, oh, thumbs down. I'm glad they kind of did away with it. Now, there's a way around it. You can still get to see them, but it's stupid to see them. It just doesn't make any sense. I'd rather have, I want to go to a channel where it says something. Let's say it's something I'm interested in. And I go, okay. I don't want to see the thumbs down because I don't want to have a negative attitude towards that channel or that uploader. I want to make my own decision. So when I go there, I look and I go, okay, well, I really like this content. Or, nah, it's not for me. Next. Then that's what I would do. I don't want to be swayed by either nasty comments or a thumbs down thing. It's like, I'm glad they kind of got rid of that to the point where, you know, you can't see it. It's like, I like that. I mean, I don't really care. I've gotten thumbs down anyway. I don't really care. It doesn't change the way I look at, you know, my work and stuff like that. I just do my own thing. I don't care. You're always going to get that anyway. It's a given. I forgot what you said to James. Tripping to light, fantastic Elvis juice tonight. Sweet. Swoona Kroona, the cube on the moon is loaded with alien supplies. I don't know about all that, but I mean, that cube is not a cube at all. It's something much larger. Like I said, I just done the video on that particular subject, and it's definitely a lot bigger than what it really is. They're making it sound like it's a cube type thing. Like I said, we're going to see how this plays out. They said they're going to definitely go investigate it. So in the next few days, they're supposed to be moving towards it. Again, watch what happens. Oh, it's going to be just a cluster of rocks that were together, and it's nothing really. You watch and see. Well, folks, we're going to jump on off this thing. It's actually been, what, 3.5 hours. So that's not too bad. Not too shabby at all. We're going to get on off of this thing. I hope it was early enough for all you folks. Again, you can always drop your comments, you know, when you go in the comment section. Just jump on there, say, man, awesome, video or hangout, rather. And like I said, it helps, you know, with the algorithms there on YouTube, and it definitely helps out big time. So we'll be marathon episode tonight, 3 hours. Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, I mean, it was just you know, awesome. I figured I'd do it a little bit earlier, help some people out, and so they're not on as late, and neither am I, so that kind of helps out too. But you know, it gives me an opportunity to eat, so I don't fall down. Oh, but yeah. So we were going to show the GigaPan, but we can do that another time. In fact, I might actually do a GigaPan just to make another video and just point out some things I find interesting, like I did not too long ago. I did a GigaPan, and we can check that out too. It's pretty cool. So anyway, folks, thanks for all the support. You guys are awesome. Even some of the people, and you know who you are, that have gone up to the top here, and it says support. That goes through my PayPal. Some people don't want me to mention their names because this is the reason why they donate on there instead of here. So big thank you to you. You know who you are. It is much appreciated. It helps the channel out. Again, you see what I did? I just upgraded the modem and router here. So, I mean, it's only $200, but it's not the point, right? So, you know, I do appreciate you. You guys, by doing that, helps this channel out. It does. And I mean that. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. A big thank you to you all. And nothing but love for you guys. Great bunch of people. Couldn't ask for anything more. The holidays are coming up. I'm hoping everybody's going to be safe. Everybody's going to be good. Just look out for yourselves, look out for your family, and of course we'll still be rocking these anyway right up to that point. So, throat's dry, yeah, feels like I'm swallowing a cactus. Love that. Nothing better than that. Oh yeah, Subway. Eat trash. No, I'm kidding. Good stuff. But, yeah, I mean, so, you know, we're trying to get out. If you guys got other ideas, you want to see other things, if we can, meaning other moons, planets, whatever it may be, drop it down below. Let me know what you guys think. And don't forget to hit the thumbs up before you guys leave. The likes, baby. But like I said, you guys have just been great. I mean, nothing but support. Doesn't matter what kind of support. But when you do the monetary thing, of course, it does help. And like I said, it helps me keep the channel up and helps me get things done in here as well. And I do spend hours behind this. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I think I told you guys this. It's at least 4 to 5 hours on a video. People think, oh, you just whip these things out and you're ready to go, right? No. First of all, you got to find something of any interest in a photo to begin with. And I can't tell you how many times I go, nope. There's nothing in them. or you can't drag enough out of there to show anybody anything. So it's not worth my time, and I'm sure in heck not going to waste your time. So, you know, I'll find a photo and I go, man, I see something in there. Let me take it into Photoshop, enhance it, get it out the best I can, make a video on it, and of course commentary, make a video, then put it into editing, and then upload it. And then, you know, I mean, it takes some time. It takes a bit of time. The enhancing is probably the most time because you want to try to bring out the lines and bring out the best you can without overdoing the photo, because you can do that with ease. And you don't want to make things appear. You want to just bring out what's in the photo, and that's pretty much it. So there's a lot of time consuming in there. You know, you'd be surprised how much time people spend on these videos. Like I said, I know some people say, oh yeah, he makes a friggin' 15-minute video. And I mean, total time for me, finding the photo, enhancing, and then uploading and everything else. 15 minutes, he's done. Oh, really? I don't know what world you live in, but it's a lot more than that. I can promise you that. But I love doing them, so I don't care. So, you know, any help you guys give me, it's just great. It's just phenomenal. And like I said, even just any support's awesome. So it's great. But like I said, guys, I want to let you guys rock and roll, do your thing, be safe, and if you're out there, make sure you're home, chill, knock your brains out. You know, I see, you know, people all the time, they go, Chris, I just came back from a pub. I'm going, oh, you didn't drink too much, man, because you don't want to kill yourself or somebody else. And I got friends that they go, man, I stay home. I just get cocked and fall out. You know what I mean? I just fall down on the floor. I just wake up the next morning. I'm like, what? But, you know, it is what it is, man. I think it's great. I mean, you need to have a few at the end of the day, and there's nothing wrong with that. Just be safe about it, right? But I'm going to let everybody go. Thanks for all of you guys being here. Again, just let me know if you guys think you want to continue on with the 4 o'clock p.m. my time. It's worked better for you. Drop your thoughts down below. Let me know what you think. Well, it sounds like we just did a video. Imagine that. But again, thanks for all you guys being here. Much love to you all. Thanks for being here. All the support. And we're going to be rocking out another one. I keep saying I keep having that, what do you call it, coming up too, that Antarctica video, but I haven't done it yet. I have to dig that thing out. I've got several, actually, that Julia has sent me. So we're going to try to rock those. I keep saying I want to get it out, and but these other ones keep coming up. It's like, okay, let's get these done. Let's get them out. And then I end up forgetting. They go on the back burner. So I'm going to try not to forget that. But anyway, guys, everybody have a great night, good morning, wherever you're at. Be safe. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you soon. What time is it now? 34? We'll wait until about 45. What do you guys think? So another 10 minutes, 6 minutes, whatever. So anyway, I'm going to let you all go. Have yourself a good one. We'll talk to you soon. Peace.